Grand Rising, everybody. Much love, much respect to everyone. Quick tap in, quick tap in. We're going to start this off like we always do by shouting out the sponsors. Grand Rising, everybody. Much love, much by shouting out the sponsors. What the hell going on here? Where's my Zoom at? Hold on, everybody. Okay, we good. We good. We're going to start this off by shouting out the sponsors and playing some music. Hopefully everybody having a beautiful Tuesday. Just a quick tap in, letting some people get in the house. We're going to start it with our intro. Shout out to Enemies Public for the intro, man.
Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yo, bow wow,
Shout out my brother Texas. Good,
bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yo, bow wow, yippee yo, yippee yo. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yo, bow wow, yippee yo, yippee yo. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yo, bow wow, yippee yo, yippee yo.
What's good, everybody? What's good? Grand Rising. Quick little tap in. Let me stop sharing the screen. Hopefully everybody good, man. Hopefully everybody good. Grand Rising. Power to the motherfucking people. Power to the motherfucking people. We're going to start this off like we always do. Playing some music by my...
Class in session, so it's time for you to get the notes. The quickest way to sell your soul is when you niggas vote. This shit I'm kicking is forbidden, better listen, bro. A politician preaching love is the biggest joke. See what they do is use the shit as a tool. Got us focused on these fools and putting shit in our food. Fighting to free your mind is kinda hollow but true. The system make you a zombie if you follow the rules, so we rebel. But not too many live it to tell, till they find the cheat code using digital scales. Paradise is aborted when the mission is failed. Heaven and hell collide like prison and jail. And you don't need religion just to say you awake. You even dumber than you look, you think you came from an ape. Religion needs science, science need religion. One tell a story and the other paint the picture. But listen, nigga, if you dig a little deeper, you can find that little rabbit in the mother of the reaper. I'm the best for a reason. There's a message in the speaker when the cosmos talking. That's a blessing from the ether. One day I met the devil for real and made a deal with him. Told him all I want is the money and kept it real with him. Came in the form of a thought I couldn't build with him. Shit, I was selling the fiends, was really killing them. Your gun bars ain't much if your gat don't shoot. I'm strapped and bulletproof like the Batman suit. All it takes is one snap to have my enemies killed. The laws in space and time, I could bend them at will. Yeah, I'm in the world that some of y'all have not seen, and living on the page that some of y'all cannot read. And right now they probably calling me cheap, cause I decided it's enough and now I finally speak. Tell you the truth, I don't trust people who cheat. It's deeper than having sex, you give birth to deceit. If you see where this is going, this is true as can be. If you lie to the ones you love, then you do it to me. The cold word is rainy night. Niggas get wet outside, but ain't no rain in sight. They wonder where this come from. Ascension when it's all done. No reason to believe in a God. When you become one, you understand. You could get it the same. Niggas will double cross you if you get them the fame. My soul ain't for sale just to get in the game. It's dangerous, homie, just remember the name.
And like I said, it's open topic. I do have a topic video for us to watch.
They just wanna keep us asleep. I know this shit suck, but when the fuck when niggas wake up, I know this shit tough. Every other step you take, you get your foot stuck. Cause they go and show you the fly with some niggas pushed up. Religion is a part of the system, my nigga, listen. If you ain't got control of your soul, then you's a victim. The Pope all over the net with politicians. The same politicians who sleeping with little children. Time to make them pay for what they did to the youth. But freedom of speech is nothing when they censoring truth. You ain't gotta show shit when you live in the proof. Giving support to your oppressors, man, you niggas is goofs. Time to fight fire with fire, get on some nigga shit. Time to get back what they stole, all of our innocence. Some people hate the way that I talk, this shit be spicy. But say a bunch of shit that ain't true, it isn't likely. They try to say your vision ain't true, but with your sight see, the best way to tear you apart is through your psyche. I give it to you real, what you need me to say. Ask the world leaders about the oath they secretly take. It's a plan that they got to keep us legally slaves. Paid labor overwhelming when you needed a break. If you think that I'm just talking.
Tell them again, what's the plan to keep us legally what? Slaves.
It's a plan that they got to keep us legally slaves. Paid labor overwhelming when you needed a break. If you think that I'm just talking, then bitch, you lost. It's a war going on like rich versus poor. The rich keep getting rich while you broke ass starve. Feeding you little pennies at that punk ass job. Thinking cause you get it in tax, you need that income. Really, I'm just stating the facts cause niggas been dumb. Your emotions are controlled by a system. Cause when I make a song full of hate, niggas listen. When I make a song about love, niggas skip it. They both from the soul, so really ain't nothing different. Today you gotta give it a fight to make the hate stop. Niggas on that ignorant shit gon' get a face shot. Believe what you wanna believe. A lot of niggas snakes, only going off of belief. A lot of shit is fake with 2 cans blazing. I'm ready for damnation. So tell a slave master I'm burning the plantation. You fuck niggas like to throw pain but can't take it. So all during war these flames remain sacred. Barrel to the root of your tongue, you niggas tasteless. Lights flying over your head, it ain't a spaceship. The reason why we fully equipped was information. It led us on the path that got us out of the matrix. Unity is power beyond, we should embrace it. But you could never bathe in the truth when you were racist. Speeding off what you was taught, then the bracelet. Then you see it's nothing you thought, that shit is dangerous. A lot of people died for what? That shit was aimless. It's kinda like a video game, it took stages. Just make sure these lanes remain nameless. Hood Politics Part 2, my name Dangerous.
Everybody have a beautiful morning, man. I appreciate y'all support. Quick little tap in, man. I haven't been live in a while. I've been running the streets, enjoying life, you know what I mean? So I was like, let me take a little time to tap in, man. I got a lot going on, but it's all good. You see what I'm saying? Life shows up sometimes, and you just gotta stand up when life shows up. You can't tuck your tail. You gotta stand up, man. So I'm going through some shit in life, but it's all good. You know what I mean? It just brings out the better person in me. So let's go. Hopefully everybody having a good day, man. I appreciate all y'all support.
Shit getting out of control, I mean we been there. Hate, they disguise it as love, we call it sincere. They took us to a place where ain't none of this shit clear, and we just look stupid, wondering how we get here. This government got us in chains cause they don't love us. They got us separated by gangs over some colors. What hurts more is we keep trusting these motherfuckers and putting bullshit that they say over each other. It's a bad world. Many cry in this sad world. A unicorn is compared to a black girl, or any child when you mix it, making life swirl. Gems meet a diamond and dance to make the ice swirl. Nigga, don't waste your time trying to hate on me. If you can't deal with your pride, then stay away from me. I don't fuck with none of that dumb shit. You heard that? Don't believe we live on a globe, nigga. The earth flat. First you gotta love yourself, then take the earth back. Find what's really important and make it worth that. Too much time in your hands lead to a dirt nap, but niggas don't keep the same energy to exert that.
What kind of freedom is that? What kind of social or political system is it when a black man has no voice in court, has nothing on his side other than what the white man chooses to give him? My brothers and sisters, we have to put a stop to this, and it will never be stopped until we stop it ourselves.
Mind over matter, but none of that'll matter when in life you're trying to climb and a nigga pull a ladder. Believing in the myth when reality is shattered. The lies never end unless you serve it on a platter. America made you a slave, then call you monster. Erase everything that we paved and say we conquered. Willie lynching is a system that really harmed us. It raped women, left children without their fathers. America, land of the free, home of the great. America, cage of the beast, home of a snake. But the fight don't stop when you gone. This shit a marathon. Everything they touched in this world, they made it terraform. The best piece of advice, stay about these pig sight. Fuck what goes on in the street. Nigga, just live life. You only get one of those, nigga. Don't play with that. Trying to dance away in the dark and never make it back. We got a lot of loving to do. Shit is getting worse. Hate run deep in these roots. It's like the shit is cursed. Murder everything you can name. The world gone berserk. Pedophilia real as fuck. It's even in the church. Music, we've been flaming it. No, it ain't no game with it. Just know I put my soul on the beat. When you banging it, this is for the shit that I see and won't play with it. Hood Politics Part 3. My name Dangerous.
They attack the victim, and then the criminal who attacked the victim accuses the victim of attacking him. This is American justice. This is American democracy. And those of you who are familiar with it know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy. Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail. But if you can't prove that a democracy is not hypocrisy, then don't put your hands on me.
Going over here to my nigga Juice real quick. We're gonna play a couple more songs.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. William Bass in the building. Welcome everybody. This is just an indigenous thing. Studious, I'm an info for info. I make what's complex look simple. To reclaim my birthright, my MO. My blood ties to the land, my credentials. Turtle Island, Nietzsche, my kinfolk. The vibration on this frequency I live for. We get sick, we don't go to hospitals. We heal ourselves with herbs and crystals. Mother Nature speaks, my soul gets tickled. We already equipped with the essentials. No Similac for my little. All my babies get the milk from mama's nipples. Raising rebels to create ripples in the system. It's not liberal. We teach the youth to go to source for they vittles. Be the B, don't be the man in the middle. That's a third party, a fifth whip. They tell you saving a little is a big deal. Wanna trick the wizard with his own spell? Learn to conjure, then you'll pierce the veil. That's his story, I didn't write that. It's my birthright, I want my life back. Was on the wrong path, now I'm on the right track. Was in the dark, now I'm in the light, fam. My skin's divine, I love this melanin. My DNA divine, liquid gold, I'm rich. Did you know you're indigenous? Put your right hand up, now make a fist. Did you know you're indigenous? Put your right hand up, now make a fist. Did you know you're indigenous? Put your right hand up, now make a fist. With the eye of Horus, I see infinity. Woke up like Neo, started training my abilities. I'm not a storm, baby, let me be your peace. Your protector, the enemy runs in retreat. Shout out to Sophia, born to be a steward. Bobby Hemmett and Malachi Z. York. Rod Hayes, Mama Rubber, Interstellar. Dane Calloway, Billy Carson, Young Elder. With my light codes, I'm in fight mode. For the next generation, we gon' right wrong. Get off the merry-go, don't repeat the cycle. You in the dark cause you forgot to cut your lights on. With the lights on like Tupac, all eyes on. The usurper, trying to take my throne. I urge karma to drown you in a typhoon. An open book, you see what page I'm on. My skin's divine, I love this melanin. My DNA divine, liquid gold, I'm rich. Did you know you're indigenous? Put your right hand up, now make a fist. Did you know you're
going through some personal shit, but life is good, man. Life is good. I'm retired. Life is good. My family good. I'm good. I'm just going through some personal shit, which only makes me stronger. You know what I mean? But life is good. Thank you for asking, man. Shout out my brother, Original Intellect. Much love and respect to you and the family, man. Always. This my nigga Juice. White mask, black face.
you're indigenous? Put your right hand up, now make a fist. Did you know you're indigenous? Put your right hand up, now make a fist. Believing I'm a U.S. citizen is propaganda. Had to call a brother true to correct my status. We own churches, not LLCs, they can't tax us. The government and central banking, it's all collapsing. Instead of chasing bread, we run on the bank. They'll become insolvent, we bankrupt the bank. Consumers exercising power makes them afraid. The GOV works for us, we the people, man. The Iroquois Constitution is supreme law. First Babylon, now it's England and Rome's turn to fall. Put the Pope on notice, discovery, doctrine is false. At critical mass, Mother Nature gets restored. A green lantern lights my path, not a torch. At the fork in the road, you gotta choose a course. Light codes or dark secrets, what do you endorse? Me? I make you Darth Vader feel the force. Yeah, I pray this resonates with your spirit. This is meant for everyone, not just the esoteric. Atomize it, dissect the message in my lyrics. I'm a god, how could I not love my appearance? My skin's divine, I love this melanin. My DNA divine, liquid gold, I'm rich. Did you know you're indigenous? Put your right hand up, now make a fist. Did you know you're indigenous? Put your right hand up, now make a fist. Did you know you're indigenous? Put your right hand up, now make a fist.
Shout out my nigga Juice, man. Shout out my nigga Juice. We're going over here to my nigga Dre Cobb. Shout out to network, man. That's what we do over here. We network, man. We network to get the information out to the people. Let's go over here to my nigga Dre Cobb. We still here.
Who they think they better than? Ain't no comparison to the so-called black or African American. You can drop the African, keep the American. When we say Aborigine and make they world in, I'm going in the same dirt my ancestors buried in. I come from a god and a goddess, so what that make me? Not even Basquiat can trace me. Not even Van Gogh can paint me. The MC in me is the God MC, equals the God in me. I'm focused in, let my mind be free. You too blind to see. The Jews I give is real, it's been real. These ain't shots, they missiles. All you gonna hear is the whistle. Lyrically, this an execution. My verses start revolutions from my people seeking restitution. Since the beginning, fuck evolution. Or maybe my reality is all a dream. I put it together like I was sowing seams. So it seems this is that audio dopamine. Go against the regime, we put you where nobody can hear you scream. And sing you to meet your Elohim. My nigga, this is savage mode. It's something that you can't decode. It started with a spark and I'ma let it explode. I was given the cheat codes that'll let me dump and reload and go through them waves like a fucking torpedo. You dealt the cards of life, I just cut them diamonds with the ace of spades. Y'all scatter like roaches when they facing raid, or vampires when they facing blade. I'm trying to get next to Shireen like I'm getting played. You still stuck as a mental slave. You still stuck in that mental cage. While I'm making easy money, pipping hoes in style. This my coming to age. Crowd roaring when I'm coming on stage. And when I'm done, they gonna be cheering my name. Drake Cobbs, and nah, I ain't quit my day job. I spit bars. I really rap on my day off. That's real shit. Just give you some tools you can build with. Aim high even if you still miss. Just keep going. It's a climb to the top. And I'ma keep flowing. Down Lake Shore, I'm Chicagoan. Yeah.
Hey, if y'all like the music, please.
You niggas is playing checkers, we playing chess. And nigga, this is checkmate. Drake be the big dog, and you just a little bait. You out of Africa, and we ain't got the same traits. I'm a God being, and we ain't got the same fate. My granny died February 18th, and I was born on the same date. The chosen one, the ancestor's chosen son. They gave me the golden gun. One shot, that's a hole in one. From the pyramid of the sun, the poverty point. I don't think you niggas is getting the point. We still here. Who said they made the Aboriginals disappear? Your information's lagging in the rear. All you do is teach fear. We copper colored with woolly hair. Am I speaking clear? So fuck the nonsense. When I rap, I touch your consciousness. From within is where you get your self-confidence. Let's bring it back to dominance. Ain't no confining us. Gonna bring that wild Indian out of us. Yeah. Yeah. We still here.
Going over here, another Dre Cobb. Shout out to all the mama chiefs, man. Shout out all the mama chiefs, man. Gotta give respect and love to the mama chiefs, man. Shout out all the mama chiefs.
Shout out to the mama chiefs. Yeah, you be quiet when Big Mama speak. What she gave us is a part of me. It flows through my arteries. Even on that journey, that love grows how the garden be. The first to teach us when we sick, the first to heal us. Mama's boy, yeah, you know, her pride and joy. Soul food, yeah, you know, I'm an enjoy. Calm you down just by the sound of her voice. There isn't another feeling inside. When they cheering you on at your game and you feeling the pride. You and your siblings fighting, she gon' make you put them feelings aside. She can't lead you down the road, but she can give you the guide. Where you think I get that blissful look in my eyes? I need a side of ice cream with Bimars apple pie. You know for sure for Mama Chief, you know I'ma ride. Cause we all need our Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all love our Mama Chiefs. The greatness, the patience, the foundation, the knowledge passed down so many generations, our motivation. I just wanna thank you for my creation. Cause we all love our Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all need a Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all ride for Mama Chief. The dedication, I seen your tears at my graduation. Now look, ma, your boy done made it. You the reason I'm one of the greatest. Yeah, cause we all need a Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all love our Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all ride for Mama Chief.
That Big Mama speak.
Now be quiet,
let
Big
my
Mama
nigga
speak.
Sanchez. We're about to start it off. We're about to start it up. One couple more songs. Shout out my nigga Sanchez. Flat motherfucking power to all the Flat Power family. Shout out all my wild Indians. My niggas.
Outside in,
My niggas.
inside out.
Let's go. Outside in.
Outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out. Outside in,
Yeah, that
inside out.
Track is fire. Yeah.
Know we're gonna take this shit back, right?
Outside in, inside out.
Merc Heights, I see it.
Outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
Let me put the link in the
Republican,
chat in case
Democrat,
somebody wanna
Democrat,
come up,
Republican, all of them niggas hustling, so it ain't no trusting them. You've been voting all your life and
link in
still
the chat. Give me
suffering.
a second.
Student loans, daycare fees, sisters be juggling, divided by the powers, poisons got us perishing. Got you niggas walking around thinking y'all Americans. Obama got you fooled, you thinking he the Messiah, when the truth is all of these presidents barbarians. Life short, but you trying to get your paper tall. All I'm doing is revealing lies they say to y'all. Back in the day, I would probably put that K to y'all. Now I'm saving y'all, and plus I'm chilling with baby doll. Maybe y'all will understand sooner or later, before they depopulate us and the oceans turn to vapors. Got me ready to blaze up like every night I'm burning herb. Trapped inside this matrix, thinking how they done turned this world
Outside in, inside out.
Damn,
Outside
they
in.
turned this world
Outside in, inside out.
real.
Outside in.
Outside in, inside out.
Link in the chat in case
Know
somebody
I'm
wanna
telling the truth.
Outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
some real revolutionaries, we don't fold. I'm in the crib watching Malcolm playing Neo Soul. They getting killed for jackets and buried for sneakers. I done came across some of the scariest creatures. For real, a lot of these dudes I don't care for. On Facebook posting pics of kids they don't care for. Therefore, it ain't no settling like the pilgrims. Hard living, and the prison's a large system. POs on the same team as state prosecutors. Free your mind, it ain't a choice, you gotta do it. Cause the judge and the goddamn lawyers be barbecuing. According to this constitution, you not a human. Freedom thrown away by plea deals they take. Rap beefs is fake. Meek Mills and Drake got me on Mary J. Every night I'm burning herb, looking at all this hate, thinking how we done turned this world outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
Definitely love, what's good,
Outside
brother? Much love,
in,
respect,
inside
you and
out.
family, always.
For real.
Definitely love.
Shit is terrible.
My nigga.
Outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
Take a trip to Egypt to go and view the monuments and watch them ask you who built them. Now that's common sense. Ask me marching to DC. It's some funny shit. Making demands to the people you spend your money
I'm
with.
being censored so much, bro. I don't think I'll never hit 5K. Because that's how much they censoring me. Because I don't believe in God. I don't believe in religion. I'm saying all we were taught were lies, misinformation. So they'll never let me hit 5K. But it's all good. I appreciate the ones that support me. That's what I appreciate. And that's why I always will show you respect to each and every one of y'all for tuning in, for coming through, and for showing love to the OG. Shout out my brother Mouthpiece. Appreciate you, Mouthpiece. Let's go.
You lack consciousness, I'm trying to get your head right. On this road to success, you gotta run red lights. My middle finger was replaced with a fist when I found out the matrix exists. And anyway, what's a middle finger that's waved in the wind versus the unity of a fist and a nation of men? Lies on the news, pausing in the food y'all eat. The White House just a house, the power's on Wall Street. Niggas thinking Jordan, sisters thinking abortion. Man, this shit is sad like notes from an organ. Got me smoking my portion. Every night I'm burning herb, all this pain I'm absorbing. Thinking how they done turned this world outside in, inside out.
Everybody sub up to everybody, please.
Inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
Shit is crazy.
Outside in, inside out.
Fuck the TV. Yeah.
Outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
Yeah. Outside in, inside out.
Outside in, inside out.
I don't even be watching it.
Nope.
Outside in, inside out.
Bullshit.
Outside in, inside out.
We're gonna play one more, then we're gonna get it started. I'm just letting y'all know where I come from. This is where I come from right here. Down under. Shout out my nigga Thread 3000, man. Shout out my nigga Thread 3000.
Look, I got word for sale. I might overwork the scale. They calling my phone right now. Guess that I treat them well. Really about that life. I'm talking shootouts and out. Swear that they love me, but they rather see you fight. It's all right with no cut, you might OD. Find out shit's out, trying to play sweet. Riding one deep, listening to wrong trait. Tried to slide out of time to hit the interstate. Just got a text and said, tell you at. Caught up and set them in motion. She said,
got that
well,
new
up again.
coming up next.
Then I'ma start it up. About an hour later. Now the neighbors know my name.
Nowhere
Don't go nowhere without the strap. Guess I'm stuck in my way. Get it how I live, babe. Only fuck with what pay. I get it how I live, babe. Only fuck with what pay. Down under, in the gutter, where's grimy? It get ugly. Came up, but I'm paranoid. Niggas pocket watch to keep the rocket on. Down under, in the gutter, where's grimy? It get ugly. Came up, but I'm paranoid. Niggas pocket watch to keep the rocket on. Down under, in the gutter, where's grimy? It get ugly. Down under, in the gutter, where's grimy? It get ugly. Down under, in the gutter, where's grimy? It get ugly. Came up, but I'm paranoid. Niggas pocket watch to keep that rocket on.
Damn it, everybody out there hating on me. Ain't going nowhere, y'all waiting on me. Hope you don't plan on kicking on me. I'm sleeping on y'all, quit shaking on me. Shaking on me, y'all plotting on me. Plotting on me, y'all writing on me. Used to be hard, turn cotton on me. Hating ass nigga got nothing on me. I'm stepping out clean, my digital dirty. We ballin' like Kobe on 30 for 30. I come out the gutter and now I look pearly. You big mad cause you ain't important. Last time I ate, dude, cop the 8. Do it for my state, I'm a heavyweight. Wanna make a play, can take you where I stay. I'ma get it done, I ain't come to play. No, I'm him, ain't he me? Moving these squads like ATVs. They stay plugged in like ATVs. I ain't tryna be no APB. Tryna stay safe like ADT. Every payday like ADP. Hustle up on 3 AMGs. Good network like ANE. Down under, in the gutter, where's grimy? It get ugly. Down under, in the gutter, where's grimy? It get ugly. Down under, in the gutter, where's grimy? It get ugly. Came up, but I'm paranoid. Niggas pocket watching, keep that rocket on. Down under, in the gutter, where's grimy? It get ugly.
Came up, but I'm paranoid. Niggas pocket watching, keep the rocket on me. Down under, in the gutter. Where's Grammy? He get ugly. Came up, but I'm paranoid. Niggas pocket watching, keep the rocket on me. Down under, in the gutter. Where's Grammy? He get ugly. Down under, in the gutter. Where's Grammy? He get ugly. Down under, in the gutter. Where's Grammy? He get ugly. Came up, but I'm paranoid. Niggas pocket watching, keep that rocket on me.
Where I come from, right there. That's where I come from. Shout out my nigga Perez 3000. Like I said, we about to go to my nigga Drake Cobb. New Drake Cobb right here. It's called Ghetto Boy. We're about to get started, y'all.
All of your young life you've seen such misery and pain. The world is a cruel place and it ain't gonna change.
Yo, I think I seen this before. The ghetto boy, they call him the more. He came with the cure. Tap into the earth, it's yours. You come from everything that's pure. America the beautiful, but my people the poor. Prisoner of war, 40 Nakamada's Dior. The refugee trying to settle the score. Chicago cold winters, yeah. My father died in December. He used to drink MGD. I remember after he was gone, I got a temper. I'm running hot, check my temperature. I go hard, I'ma try to dismember ya. A little black boy who grew to shine like the sun. I'ma resurrect and become the infinite one. I only just begun. I'm homegrown like common sense, but some of y'all not rhyming with sense. The current situation is beyond intense. How many have to die at their expense? I'm not fucking with Harris, I'm not rocking with Pence. Does it even matter? We still on some ghetto shit. Black fist in the air, on some rebel shit. We've been through the fire, how much hot can hell get? George Floyd will never forget. This is big enterprise. United States committing genocide. On the news, it's been another homicide. Shooter's been identified. White male with a gun and a badge. So I'ma say this shit direct. They come in our hoods with all disrespect. Cause everybody black is a suspect. Community we got to protect. We fight for the respect. Black power, it's time to resurrect. All that self-hatred we gotta correct. I guess we forgot we the architects. I'ma be the Grim Reaper when it's time to collect. Because you don't make enough for a tax cut. So take what we give you and keep your mouth shut. That's what happened when a man is given no hope. Sold you dope, might as well give you the rope. They got the nerve to tell you get out and vote when the system is broke. But that's how the game go. They circle you and X you out like tic-tac-toe. Give me what you.
Uncle Fad, send me some music then, brother. Put a couple of your links in the chat. I play all artists in the community's music. So if you got some music, send it to my email or put it in the chat. Thank you, Empress. Uncle Faz. For anybody that got music, instrumental, you know, that's what I do to promote the artists in the community. So if you got music, put it in the chat or send it to my email. Let's go. Thank you, Nami.
So we can take more, but you know how it is in the ghetto. The block ain't sunny, but the sunshine in the ghetto, in every ghetto, yeah.
St. Louis, I appreciate you, brother. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm going through some personal shit, but it's all good. What don't kill us, make us stronger. We got to use those life experiences and make us stronger. So no matter what you're going through, brother, obstacles, it's going to be all right. Sisters, it's going to be all right. You know, I was taught this a long time ago, right? If I'm having a bad day, I can start my day over and make sure, say I'm going to have a good day. I'm not going to let negative shit get to me. So you can always start your day over, even if it's 11 o'clock in the daytime, in the morning, and you woke up at 6. You can always start your day off and say to yourself, I'm going to have a good day no matter what. That's a little, you know, something I want to give to y'all. You can start your day over. You can say, I'm going to have a good day. I'm not going to let certain things bother me. You know, it's all mental for me. But let's go, man. I got you up with that. All right, we're about to get it started, y'all. We're about to get it started. Hopefully everybody good, man. Let me do this real quick. Hopefully everybody having a good day. Like I said, we're going to be talking about slavery is one of the topics, right? Let me bring this up. You know, this community that we in
New Jersey, New York.
This community that we in, right? We've been saying, you know, they lied about slavery. Slavery is false. You know, they misrepresented it. They lied. We Americans, we ain't from Africa. You know, we've been saying this for forever, since I've been in the community, right? I'm emailing your music to myself, Uncle Faz. I got you, brother. Copy. I want to email it. You know, we've been saying we didn't come from Africa for years, man. And you got these people that still want to believe in the education system. You got these people that still want to believe history. You got these people that no matter how many times you show them that the corporation has lied to them, they still believe in the corporation. Shout out to Willie D, right? I seen this and it touched me. It touched my heart. Shout out to this sister. And shout out to this channel, right? They lied to, the lies were told about slavery. And like I said, you know, I didn't get to review it, but we're going to review it together. You know, a lot of our people are waking up from that shit. A lot of our people are waking up. But not everybody going to make it. Some people are always going to believe that they're slaves, that they came from slaves because of what has been done to us, man. The reclassification, not knowing who we are, not knowing where we're from. But you're American. I was born in America. My birth certificate say Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1965, November 16th. So I know I'm American. And that's what I represent, America. So like I said, I seen this story. Shout out to this sister. And we're going to talk about slavery. And we're going to listen to this video, man. Shout out to Willie D. You know what I mean? And links in the chat. This is one of the topics that we're going to talk about this morning. And links in the chat, man. We've been saying we from America since day one, man. That we ain't African. That we don't have nothing to do with Africa. That's a separate continent or country. And that ain't our people. But let's listen to what the sister talked about. Shawanda, much love and respect, always. Always. You know, so like I said, I seen this. I wanted to review it with the people. You know, and I'll probably do another stream later this week. We're going to talk about are blacks in power in America? Are black people running the scenes in America, man? Because it's got some people that think black people are on top, that we on top of things. And you know, I want to call them people out, man. So let's listen to what the sister's saying. Shout out Dr. Life Williams. Let's listen to what the sister's saying. Let's go.
All the way up to Connecticut and Rhode Island, that actually they were the breadbasket for enslavement. And during the Revolutionary War, when the British had an embargo on the East Coast, thousands of Africans starved to death in Jamaica and through the islands because they couldn't get food. Philadelphia was famous for what they call refitting. That's taking a ship and refitting it to put captives in by putting layers in the bottom of it. And, New York was a major trader because at that time you had the Dutch in control. So, yeah, you had slavery all over the East Coast. And Pennsylvania, the myth about the Quakers and William Penn. Well, some of it's semi-true. William Penn at first said that he didn't want slavery in the colony, but however, due to...
Hey, shout out my brother Taz. Good seeing you, brother. I got you, fam. Hopefully everything good with you and the family. My brother Taz, Grand Rising, man. Now, you didn't lose it, brother. Every year in January, I redo all my standard mods. And as people come back, that's when I give them back their wrenches. So it's good seeing you. You didn't do nothing wrong, my brother. The chat will tell you, I take away everybody wrenches except for my what they call them, managing mods, which, Nami is a managing mod. My brother Roger W, I believe, is a managing mod. Every January, and I take away all the standard wrenches, just, to see who's participating. So it's nothing personal, my brother Taz. I got nothing but love and respect. I do it every year. And as the people come back in, I give them back their mods like I just gave you yours back. So it's nothing personal. I do it every year, every January. I will clean all my mods just to see who's participating. And as they come back, I give them their mods. Because everybody got a voice over here, man. I ain't trying to censor nobody fucking voice. What you believe, what you want to know, that's on you. I know what I know. I'm standing on what I stand on. So hopefully you and the family good, my brother. Hopefully you and the family good. Hey, shout out my nigga Aboriginal Power. Peace, much love and respect, man, to you and the family. Mr. Miller High Life, Grand Rising, much love. On code, Chief, what's good, brother? Appreciate all of y'all. We listening to this sister break down about slavery.
The demands of farming and other things.
Yeah, I seen you wasn't going live, Aboriginal Power, to 6:30, so I said, let me tap in, man. Shout out my nigga Aboriginal Power, man.
Things he caved in and said, okay, maybe indentured servants. So the first 175 Black people into Philadelphia were actually enslaved by the Quakers.
I read somewhere, I don't remember right.
Okay.
But they were saying that about 40 cents of every dollar from slave owners went to the North.
Yeah, because what the North also did was they provided materials to the South. Okay, like tools that they needed, and also luxury items, things for their home, all types, and their children some of them were educated in the North, and different foods, different luxuries that they wanted, all came from the North. So they were hand in hand. South was hand in hand with the North in the enslavement of African people.
Did the myth circulate because like the North wasn't so hands-on because they had somewhat of a distance? That's why they justified and try to say that they weren't as active in slavery as they were?
I guess it's the numbers. Look at the numbers. So, in the South, like in the 1700s, in some places in the South, you had Blacks 100-1 outnumbering whites. But you didn't have that in the North. You didn't have those large numbers. Like I said, like Philadelphia, the first, 175. And so the numbers were small, even though in the farming areas, so you could purport that myth or say that you weren't involved, but they definitely were here.
There has been disdain among some African Americans towards Africans, right? Believing they were responsible for selling them into slavery. While this may be true in some cases, it's not the full story. For example, I saw on your website, 1787, is his name King Al-Mami?
Uh-huh.
All right. He passed a law making it illegal to take enslaved Africans from his kingdom and even return gifts from French slave traders that were meant as bribes. Can you discuss the complexity of African involvement in the slave trade?
Right. Well, first thing you have to think about is we're talking 400 years. So over 400 years, there are many nuances. Okay. So, I mean, you can't really encapsulate one period and say this is what happened. However, even according to one of the most conservative African American historians, Henry Louis Gates, his number, I don't know how he comes up with this, said that 40% of Africans were complicit in the slave trade. Okay, so all right, even if we take his 40%, we have to define what does complicity mean, So yes, at the beginning, there were negotiations, there were warfare between different ethnic groups, and people were captured, and those captives were sold or traded into slavery. But like as you get into the 1700s, those Africans who resisted were forced. Chiefs were either killed or they were banished to other islands. There's a story I just heard about where one of the kings was banished to Barbados. Yeah, and so they were forced after a period of time to engage in this. And one thing I really point.
Live and learn. Much love and respect, man. Appreciate everybody. Let me shout out the chat, man. Ex St. Louis, Nami, Live and Learn, Uncle Fed, Soul Brother, On Code, Juice, Roger W, my nigga Aboriginal Power, Mr. Miller is Highlight, The Taz Show, Mouthpiece, On Code, Shawanda, Texas, Jackie Brown, Ex St. Louis, Focus Minds, Mouthpiece, Juice. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Sophia. Hopefully everybody having a good Tuesday, man. Quick little tap in. Anthony Love, Dre Cobb, my nigga. Milestone Thoughts. Make sure I got everybody. Roger W. Nami Snapping Turtle. Original Intellect, my Naga, much love and respect, brother, Texas. BGP. Gigi Schuylkill River Punch, my Philly brother. Uprising Aboriginal. Jesus Cantu, Flat Motherfucking Power, Black Indian Immigrator. Hopefully everybody good, man. We listening to the story about slavery. The sponsor, Bronze. What's good, Bronze? Much love and respect always, my nigga sponsor. Monty Gator, what's good, bro? Much love and respect. All of y'all are sponsors, but Bronze is a day one sponsor from day one. But yeah, we talking about slavery, breaking down this slavery shit. No matter how many times we tell these Pan-Africans that we always been here in America, they want to hold on to that slavery narrative that we were brought here on a boat. So the sister breaking it down. So shout out to Dr. Williams. Let's go.
Out in my map on slave revolts is that the majority of the ship revolts, 70% of them, happened along the west coast of Africa, which testifies that Africans were trying to stop the trade as they were battling right there at the point of embarkation. So there are many stories involved, and then knowing
my brother, enemies public, man. Much love always. To your family, Master Green, enemies public, man. I modded you up, Master Green. Good seeing you, brother. I don't know how you wasn't modded. You've been here for forever. But I appreciate you, brother. I thought I had modded you up already. Mouthpiece.
When Europeans, there's many stories where the Europeans instigated rivalries between different ethnic groups to get them to fight, in order to get captives, because it was big money in it. It was like a drug trade.
And what's wild is it seems like they do the same exact tactics now with neo-colonialism in regards to this conquer and divide. And I think some people separate that tactic as if it's a new tactic and they haven't been using this tactic.
Right. What was it? Bishop Turner in the 1870s said, "Do not trust the white man. He will betray you." Yeah, so I mean, we're dealing with the same element years apart. They'll do anything for money. It's just merciless.
There's another myth I want to talk about, that Africans were docile on plantations, right? But history records over 400 major revolts, please correct me if I'm wrong, excluding countless acts of resistance that went undocumented. How has history perpetuated the false idea that enslaved people accepted their fate without resistance?
I always say that the South lost the Civil War militarily, but they won ideologically. And the myths surrounding the nature and character of Black people emanate primarily from the South, as Black people being criminals, criminalization of the race, as you said, the docility, the ignorance, the genuine acceptance of slavery by these people. And again, we're talking a couple hundred years. So at different points, you're going to see different activities. Like you'll see a peak of revolts, like in the 1700s, mid 1700s, all the way up to the 1800s, into the end of slavery. Well, what happened those first 200 years? Well, number one, y'all, people were dazed. They were traumatized. They didn't know what was going on. They're torn from their family. They're coming, and then by the time you get up to the third generation, you did have some Black people that accepted their fate. They believe, hey, I was a slave. I'm a slave. My parents were slaves. My grandparents were slaves. That's all they could see. They could not see it. If you would have asked a Black person in 1800 if they thought they were ever going to be free, they would say no, right? They didn't see it. It's just like when we ask Black people today, you think you're ever going to get reparations? No, you can't see it, right? That was their fate. So you're going to have all kinds of stories, but I believe resistance took place every day in a number of different forms. Slowdowns, poisoning. You notice in these old movies, before white people got ready to eat, they always had a Black person taste their food first. Fires. That's a big one. Setting things on fire. New York almost burned down. Montreal, they were just burnt. Of course, killing the masters, having these revolts. So they were running away. There are many, many, many forms of resistance, but we're taught in order to perpetuate our inferiority and subordination to white people that in general, we are lazy, docile, and accepting of our condition. That's just to maintain us. But Black people fought from the very beginning. And I have on the map 263 revolts on land. Those are documented. Now, the problem is these are the ones that are documented in English. Okay. But remember, we got the Portuguese, we got the French, we have the Dutch, so yeah, doing research in those languages in those areas, we could uncover many more. Also, remember, the whites did not want Blacks to find out about the revolts. So a lot of the information is not publicized, or they didn't put it in a newspaper. So it's a process of uncovering, which I look at this project as ongoing. And everywhere I go, I try to go to the museums, talk to people to see if I can uncover more revolts. And Eric Taylor, in his book, If We Must Die, he documented 500, and this is just English speaking, 500 revolts on ships. All right. So there was probably, 10 times that amount. And it was because of those revolts that we actually have the end of enslavement. And, the history we're taught is, it was the white abolitionists who freed us. That was a part of it. But the major part were those revolts. They were expensive. People were dying. People were afraid. They had to come to some consensus.
How empowering was it for you when you started to learn about these revolts?
It was very empowering, especially the women, and I always get asked, what about the women? To see, what they came up with and the lengths they went through to have these revolts. It was just amazing to me. And I started the project being an A-level historian. Because I'm really truly a political scientist, but I really thought I knew a lot about history. But I just learned so much, and I think one thing that also empowered me in a kind of perverse way or the punishments. To see what they went through and the trauma of you're watching people being buried alive and one bone broken at a time and whipped 700 times. And what did that do to our ancestors? Why would you put yourself through that? Their stamina, to even take the risk. They were like, I'm not doing this, So yeah, it was very empowering. But then, yeah, at some points I had to back off. It got a little much for me.
Can you speak about Solitude out of Guadalupe?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Resistance.
Yeah, that's a good one. 1802 in Guadalupe. There was a woman, Solitude. She was about 30 years old, and she was visibly pregnant. So we could say maybe she was about 7 months pregnant. She, along with a military man named Delgras.
Hey, shout out my brother, Black Y Indian, Grand Rising, brother. Much love and respect to you and the family, man. Hopefully everything good.
Planned a revolt. What they did was they lured the French into a fort and blew it up. And 400 Frenchmen were killed. And all her people were killed. But she was captured alive. And once the baby was born, it was given to her master, and then she was executed in their language, unimaginable ways. Mm-hmm.
The thing I always wonder about when I read and learn about these things is the psychology of white people in regards to what mind state can you be mentally, and even what level are you at spiritually to do this to another human being, even if you don't consider the human being a human. Why would you do it to an animal anyway? Like, I don't want to harm any living creature to that magnitude. It may just be me, but like, when you learn about these things, like, what do you learn about their mind state? And
I don't. And people who do DNA studies and they say, if you look at the human body, you look at a white person, black person, genetically we are the same. And I think we're different. We are really different. But man, also you have to understand the historical circumstances that white people came from before slavery and what was going on in Europe and all the warfare and
very harsh and desolate environment.
Yes, and the environment. And so they come from this warlike state. Not letting Africans off the hook, because, Africa, there was warfare, there was a lot of competition. There was, in Benin, we see that some of the kings were buried with their wives. And, so there were atrocities on both sides. But I can't explain it. There's a line out of the movie Pulp Fiction when Ving Rhames says, "I'm going to go medieval on you." Remember that line? And that's what they did, because I would look at some of these punishments and I would think, how did you even think of doing that to someone? Putting a metal plate on somebody's face so they couldn't eat, couldn't talk, starved to death. What? Chains around their neck so they couldn't lay down, bells on them so you could hear everywhere they go. It's just unbelievable. I can't explain it.
And this is the thing I struggle with also, is that I understand psychologically they dehumanize them, right?
Right.
Identify them as animals.
Right.
But you arouse sexually by them, and there are a lot of sexual interactions and relationships. So that's the part I can't figure out in regards to, like, I know you try to justify it on paper, but like you were intimate with these people, not just rape, like actual relationships. So like, how do you navigate all that?
I don't know. You have to dig down in the well of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing to explain and the color theory, and it's really amazing the lust. And a lot of times we just talk about the women being raped, but then there were men raped and children raped. We just see lust that other than intimate relationships that they had with each other, like maybe a Thomas Jefferson and the Sally Hemings. It was just unadulterated lust. They just saw them as an opportunity to sexualize, and didn't care about it. That's one thing. Speaking of Frances Cress Welsing, when she talks about the origin of the MF word, here you are being raised by a Black woman, she suckled you on her breast, and then you become a man, and then you rape her. Yeah, you rape. How do you do that? How do you separate that in your mind? I don't know.
What was the significance of Pennsylvania's 1780 Abolition Act, and what did freedom truly mean in this context?
Freedom meant that you weren't really free. And it's not just Pennsylvania. Well, Pennsylvania was one of the first states, colonies / states to have that type of law. But we see that throughout. You'll see that throughout the Caribbean. You'll see that in some places in Africa. And what they would do was, little caveats, actually worked against the slaves. For example, it said that your child that is born after 1780 would be free. Okay, so you have this child that's free, and you're still a slave, all right? So you don't get any provisions for that child. How do you feed that child? Right. So a lot of times it worked against them. So it was a system of what they call gradual abolition. And the British came up with the term apprenticeship, where they said we just can't set you free. You're gonna have to learn how to be free. And how do you do that? You have to work for a certain number of years before you are free. All right. So the way that law worked in Pennsylvania, it really only benefited a small number of people, but it extended the time that people were already enslaved in that period. And I thought you were going to ask about the police, because Philadelphia is very
we're gonna get to that.
yeah, because your first police force, once you set these, you have these free Blacks floating around.
P. Moses.
You got to have somebody to police them, to watch them. All right. And they didn't know who was free and who was a slave. So they would just arrest these Black people if they were out past the curfew.
You needed employment, needed to show.
You wouldn't even have anything. Your master would have to come and get you, or you would stay there, or you would be flogged or whipped in public. So it was a free-ish type of thing. But Philadelphia had the largest population of free Blacks as we get into the 1800s. So history becomes a little different then. But
What are the historical origins of policing in America, and how did, and I'm paraphrasing you referred to the law enforcement evolving into one of the most lawless entities in our society?
Yeah, they were virtually lawless, and actually even today, because your early police were
dirty cops
tasked with keeping order in a very chaotic, disorderly terrain, just to say. You look at early America, 1700s, 1800s, you have unfettered capitalism. You have all kinds of things going on that you don't have control over, like sewage. Very important. You got horses defecating in the streets, and so little things that were very large. Housing, So you had not only black people were very dissatisfied, but you also had a lot of whites who were dissatisfied, you know, with
And
the
links in the
social
chat.
conditions
Anybody can come.
and a
Links
lot
in
of
the chat.
poverty, a lot of anger. And so the police force would just go out there and they're supposed to keep these people under control. And we're in Philadelphia specifically, your early police officers were recruited from the gangs. So these people, one day they were gang warring on the street, the next day you put them in uniforms and tell them to keep order. And then you didn't have, okay, today we have police academies doing a little better. Well, I mean, they didn't have any training. You know, you just give them weapons and tell them to keep the peace. That's what they're supposed to do. Keep the peace. But how do you do that? You know, and then you have racism, and not only racism, but particularly in Philadelphia, you had a lot of ethnic fighting, you know, between the Italians, the Jews, the Germans. You got all this stuff going on, and people trying to protect themselves and their little areas. All right. So you have we call turf wars. All right. So if you have police recruited from
Mike
a
Dollars
certain
was good, brother.
community, they're going to try to
Grand
protect
Rising,
that
Mike Dollars.
community.
The
So
bad
are
guy.
they keeping the peace? Or are they just really another level of gang warring and protecting their turf? Right. So you have all of these things, and then the firemen were even worse. They were worse than the police. And then you would have fights between the firemen and the police, and then the firemen would set things on fire and refuse to put them out. And here come the police. Oh yeah, they had all kinds of things going on. In Philadelphia, they even set fire to a little orphanage, a little black
Yeah, we
orphanage,
eating the
and the fire
fish
people
and
refused to put
spitting
it
out
out,
the
and the police
bones. Shout out
wouldn't
to this
make
sister
them.
going in.
What do you makes you think about move, right?
Can you explain more about that incident with the orphanage?
Yeah, well, every time when we say riot all the way up to 1960, what we're saying is white people were coming into the black community and wreaking havoc. Okay. And so in one of those instances in Philadelphia, you have whites coming into the black neighborhood and doing awful things, destroying. I read one account where they defaced the black church because they said black people make too much noise. And there was a coffin in there. They threw the coffin out the window. And then they set an orphanage ablaze. I don't know. There's no account about how many kids were killed or who got out. They just says, the record says the orphanage was set ablaze, and then the fire people didn't put it out hastily. And then also those houses were wooden. They were burned very fast. And so, yeah, it was a lot. So then you had a police caught in between that. So even if you have police officers who were truly, truly trying to maintain the peace and try to maintain order, you were caught. I mean, it was just a lot of chaos going on at that time.
It seems like the police always started out as a lawless entity.
Basically still is. And a lot of that, I wouldn't say is really the fault of the police, but the fault of policing.
Explain.
And yeah, because most of the rules that the police have to follow are crafted by the courts. And when does that happen? Usually after the fact, you know. So a lot of times they don't really know. I had an example. Now, New York is one of the first cities that if you want to sue the police officers have to actually pay instead of the city paying. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And so I was in New York. Just casually, I would ask different officers about that, and none of them knew anything about it.
They're not even up to date on it.
No. They said no, they didn't hear anything about it. They didn't know about that rule or what it meant.
Well, that makes sense though, because I'm pretty sure they have a high rate of lawsuits. I think Philly, last time I checked, they were like at 16 million.
Wow.
Since it's like in a 2-year span.
I guess Los Angeles has the highest, but Philadelphia is not far behind.
Majority of them never make the news. Majority of settlements and lawsuits.
Right. And even though we only have a fraction of the population that New York has in terms of brutality and students, we're almost par to that city. Mm-hmm.
All right. Can you explain how reparations were paid to enslavers at the end of slavery?
And you said at the end of slavery, and this is something very interesting. The British,
Garrison, what's good, Garrison?
the
Grand
British
Rising, brother.
had paid their
Hopefully
enslavers
y'all enjoying the video.
20,000 pounds or whatever at that time. Well, the British government didn't have enough money to fully pay them. So that was part of the rationale for having the apprenticeship program, where they made the Africans work for a certain number of years after for free in order to pay that. Okay. But actually, this is startling. The British government just balanced that payment in 2015.
Say that again, please.
They just balanced that debt in 2015. So we've all been paying reparations to the enslavers. Yeah, you had a Chase account, Barclays account. Right, yeah. They just settled that score.
Did American enslavers receive any money when slavery was abolished?
No, you know why? Civil War. Because if they had not, if the South had not attacked Fort Sumter and they had continued negotiations with Lincoln, was Lincoln's first plan was to send all the Black people out with the American Colonization Society. And they had actually started sending people back to Africa, to Liberia, and then the Black people enslaved those Blacks once they got there. But yeah, the attack on Fort Sumter really did that. And then even with the Civil War, they lost everything. But then once Lincoln was assassinated, they were able to regain their property and afterwards. So they didn't get reparations payments per
Thank
se,
you,
but
Emily
they were able to keep their holdings.
And can you share your thoughts on reparations?
It's a lot. It really is a lot. You know, when people talk about reparations, they basically think about a dollar. So the first point is, before you can even come up with a dollar, you need to know what happened. You know, and this is how the Jews won their case. They did thorough research on everything the Germans did and detailed. So then they were able to be compensated based on that. And that's something we have not done. There's a lot of information on slavery during, after, but we still don't have it in such a systematic fashion where we can get the numbers. Well, Professor Darity, and where's the UNC? He comes up with a number based on things, but I think a lot more research has to be done, and that's what HR 40 was about, was to provide money to do the research. Then we can come up with a dollar amount, and then
you know what she's talking about right now, the HR 40. That's a bunch of bullshit, because these Pan-Africans like to throw their receipts up. Give me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second. These Pan-Africans like to throw their receipts up, their proof. So there's plenty proof about slavery. But you know, these
Travel and luxury shopping have always
these evil motherfuckers just don't want to adhere to it. And basically, let me say this real quick. We ain't united. So as long as we're not united, they don't got to do shit until we unite. And that's when change will come, once we unite.
then also,
But until we unite, ain't nothing gonna change. That's all I wanted to say. I messed up the video. Let me get back to the video, man. You know, until we unite and come together, because we all divided. Some of us is Black, some of us is Indians, some of us is niggas. some of us don't want to be niggas. So until we unite, we'll never get reparations. But once we unite, it's a possibility that reparations, we can get it. We can take it. But until we unite, we're going to stay divided.
I'm in Barbados. And in the Caribbean, they always talk about self-reparations. You know, when I first heard that, being a Black American, I was like, oh boy, this sounds like some Booker T. Washington, pull yourself up by your own bootstrap mentality. You know, what is this about? But then, you know, I really started listening to them and watching them, and they really have a point to the extent that we have to do some self-healing and some self-reflection and see who we are as people in order to enter this whole argument about reparations. And also, it's so expansive, the art.
Like I said, we can prove crimes against humanity. We can prove that. It's just we're divided. And as long as we're divided and we ain't one nation, that's what they banking on, that we stay divided. That we stay under their religious beliefs. So they can control us. But once we unite and come together, it ain't no stopping us. No stopping us once we unite. But like I keep saying, as long as we're divided, they can do whatever they want to do.
Our education, our research, there's so many facets to reparations. Yeah, we're big time contributors.
I'm saying unite under being American. I'm American. I was born in America. That's what uniting under. Just like these people in Congress call themselves Americans, which they're not. I'm American, and that's what I'm down to unite under.
Consumers, we spend $13 trillion a year, but that comes right out of slavery.
Explain.
Because we were nothing. We were not people. We were things. And the best account, speaking of Booker T. Washington, the best account is his book Up From Slavery, because after slavery, he walked through the South and visited people in their home, talked to people. I guess it'd be one of the first sociological studies. And what he found is he would go into the home of a Black family, say a shack, go in, you know, they have nothing, maybe a little table or something, but you look in the corner and they'll have a brand new sewing machine or a set of china, right? Because these are the things that they saw that the whites had that gave them value. So then after slavery, this mindset, let me get these things so I can be something.
What's good, brother?
And we're still plagued with that today.
I'm glad you brought that up, because Black people are always criticized for the consumption behaviors, but no one speaks about the origins of it and how it's a lack of self-worth that pushes you to try to buy self-worth.
Yes.
You know, and once you understand and then view it, you can see that's what's being done, but many people struggle with it, unfortunately.
Right. Personhood. That's the whole point of revolution, you know, is to, and John Henry Clark talks about this.
No, Nami, I didn't see what happened. Put the video in the chat, Nami, for me. I'll play it. Put the video in the chat, please, Nami. I didn't see it. Put a video in the chat, man. And thank you, Jackie Brown. Appreciate you. Nami, appreciate y'all.
A lot to become human. Get our human beingness back, our personhood back, nations, and that self-reparations, becoming people, that we respect ourselves. You know, we have a little respect for ourselves. Definitely don't have, well, this is how it's explained to me. We have some respect for ourselves, but less respect for other Black people. You know, we can be very, very hard on other Black people.
Very hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense too, man, because advertisers already, I know a couple people in advertising, right? And the predatory practices that they have, specifically the campaigns against Black people, they're quite aware of that insecurity, and they know how to play off it. They know that the self-worth is not there, and I can trick you to believing you can buy it. And they have these high-end products for you to buy it.
Right.
And it's a nasty trap, because the society teaches you
American
to
Indian sound
hate
good
yourself.
to me.
Right.
American Indian.
And the advertiser here is giving you the remedy for the self-hate, which is not beneficial to you, you know?
Right. It's bad. And then you have your Black nationalists. I have a friend in advertising. He calls me the incense girl. He says you have a group of Black nationalists, you know, that burn incense all the time and wear the red, black, and green. And so they target us, you know, with certain products. And then you have your average Black, and I don't know.
I saved it to my watch later, Nami. I'm gonna watch
I
play
have
it
a
in a minute.
friend who she's ill, so she spends a lot of time watching TV. So when I go visit her, I watch TV with her. She loves all of these shows, the Housewives of Atlanta and Being Married to
King Genocide was
Medicine,
good, brother.
and I'm watching these things.
Grand Rising King
I
Genocide.
really, I
Much
know a
love,
lot of
respect, and
people.
respect.
I don't know anybody who acts like that. I swear I don't. And then I'm looking at the, you know, the clothes and the hair and the jewelry. I'm like, these people are just so over the top, you know, but you're watching this, and then this is what you identify. And in one scene, it was the Housewives of Huntsville or something. They had little children and their little girls who looked just like the mothers, you know, with the same, the hair, the attitude, and so we're perpetuating, you know, this very material persona onto people. That this is what makes you. And then what the bad thing about it is, number one, okay, all these people have money, they all have bad attitudes.
Yeah, it's a I call it, what do I call it? White made Black culture.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what a white producer is kind of crafted as Black culture, presented to the world.
But you're educated. That's what I understand. I asked my girlfriend, I'm like, these people, they have medical degrees, PhDs, MDs, and they're acting like this.
There seems to be a growing generational gap, or is there already, where many young people feel disconnected from their elders and even from themselves, right? I once heard you say, and I'm paraphrasing, many youth are crying out to be heard, feeling invisible, and seeking acceptance from those who may not value them. How can we begin to address this disconnect, and what role does historical awareness play in bridging this gap between generations?
That's $1 million question. You know, and sadly enough, I would say just about every Black organization is facing that problem. You know, NAACP on down to the neighborhood block associations. You know, how do we bridge that gap with young people? It's I really don't know. It's going to take, I think, if we collaborated together, because I see some community projects, like some art projects, and where different people from of different ages in a particular community will come together and work with young people and talk to people. That seems to get, but that's really at the micro level, and the larger realm. That's a lot. You know, we try to educate.
Hopefully everybody having a good day real quick. Hopefully everybody good. We're going to pause that video real quick and come back to it. I want to review the video. My sister Nami wanted me to play real quick. I wanted to review that video. Then we're going to get back to the content. And then we're going to let this video wrap up. And if nobody comes up, we gonna shut it down after the video. But real quick, we're gonna take a little quick break and show the video that my sister Nami wanted me to show. So give me 1 second. Let me set this up. Hopefully everybody having a good day, man.
The hotel owner and staff.
Hopefully everybody having a good day. Let me share the screen. Zoom. We're gonna get back to that video. I just wanted to play the video that Nami was talking about real quick. You know, I'm not sure what happened to the girl. I guess we're about to find out. Let's go.
This shocking video captures the moment when missing 11-year-old Adriana Young was found lifeless in a pool at Doubleday Hotel in Tucson, East Bank, Essequibo, Guyana. Reports indicate that Young disappeared around 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday while swimming with her family. Her relatives claim that the hotel owner and staff were reluctant to assist in their search efforts. On Thursday morning, protests erupted in front of the hotel, supporting the child's father, Subrian Young, just before Adriana's body was discovered.
I tell you again, as I tell you social media audio, these people inside they know about me that. They tell you, every single body walking there yesterday, from the staff to the boss, to everybody who went in there, from 1 o'clock, between 2 o'clock, no what happened inside there. That's all I could see. Me, allow me to move, I can move. I can get up from here right now and go home.
Young's body was discovered in the pool 2 hours later. Here's what Young's aunt had to say to a reporter in Guyana.
We were begging the police to lock down the place so that we can search. They did not do that, and a police by the name of Reese indicated that he can't do that because he's going to lose his job. Dede's son is claiming that, he claimed that she left. He never offers us any sympathy, didn't come and talk to us anything. They never allowed us to search as a family until after 11 going on to 12.
Videos and images from the late Wednesday night search show that Adriana Young was not in the pool at that time. The gruesome discovery of her lifeless body was captured on video by protesters. Her father, Subrian Young, is seen jumping into the pool to retrieve her body.
We checked this pool this morning, We checked this pool this morning. This young lady was not in this pool. This girl was not in this pool.
Suspecting foul play, the situation quickly escalated into a violent protest. The Doubleday Hotel was looted and later set ablaze. Following the discovery, the father gave an emotional statement.
You searched the pool this morning. You searched the pool this morning. You searched the pool after 6 this morning with police. I know. I didn't went there. You had 6 of my family. Searched the whole building. I was standing right there watching them because the pool's right there. And nobody didn't saw a body. There, and you check it afterward. After 10. After 10. From 10. 7 minutes around 10. We got a body appear just so magically. Appear in the pool. That happen. You know, the way till we go when the hell will find your body. Yeah. But this is why I stand and I stay here. And I will never move how long I see the girl body. I ain't moving. It was today, I will stand hold it today. And tomorrow will be.
Hey Mike. I suggest that you get on Nami good side, cause she got a master wrench. She could time anybody out. You know, so I'm gonna suggest that you get on her good side, brother. That's my master. That's my one of my managing minds, man. And she got the key to do whatever she wanna do, bro. So be respectful to Nami. That's all I can tell y'all, man. Be respectful to Nami. She got the master key. She can time everybody out. Let's get back to the video. That's crazy. That's crazy. I wanted to hear the end of it.
This shocking video captures announcing the formation of a special team to lead the investigation. He emphasized that the full truth must be uncovered and no resource will be spared to achieve this. He also requested a detailed explanation from the police regarding their actions since the matter was reported. President Ali visited the family on Thursday evening. The protests continued today as the community seeks answers. Reporting for News 5, I am
Paul Lopez.
And rest in peace to this young lady, man. And that's why I tell people, it's people that hate us out here, man. So please be aware of your surroundings at all times, man. Good information, Navi. Thank you.
People of different ages.
Real quick. I just wanted to see what my sister Nami wanted me to play. And let's get back to this video. Hopefully everybody having a good day. Shout out Bucky Wingo, Vibrant Law. Who else came in? Yeah, shout out to everybody that came in. Like I said, y'all be nice. Nami got a master key. She can time a wrench out. So y'all be respectful. And like Nami already know she my eyes. So, if she time you out, you probably deserved it. But be nice. That's all I'm gonna say. Nami got the master key, man. Be nice to Nami.
In a particular community will come together and work with young people and talk to people. That seems to get, but that's really at the micro level. And the larger realm, it's a lot. You try to educate them. So, shameless plug for my map. My project is what they call Digital Humanities Project, which you take a large amount of information and you put it together using technology. So what I did was to take all this information, not only on slave revolts, but the second map looks at anti-colonial and civil rights movements, and putting them together on a map, like a Google map, and have people go and open them so that they'll learn about each instance. And my target audience is really 15-year-olds, 15 to 25, young people, because they don't know the history of resistance. They don't, I don't think, because I can say, even when I was a teenager and I would hear about the civil rights movement, I get tired of hearing about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. I mean, like, how many times are you going to tell me this story? And I became bored, and I really didn't see the essence of the movement until I got much older and start really looking at their strategies, their tactics, how they networked, how they sacrificed, their courage, what they were up against, Then I'm like, oh, okay. And by the time we get to 2050, 2050, the majority of the population, the Black population, are going to be around 25 years old and under. And at the trajectory we're going now, with this fascism and imperialism, they need to know resistance. And so that's why I put that up there, so you can learn about the role of culture and how do you mobilize people politically, So I give each facet of that, how the leaders talk to people and how do you actually convince people to get involved? And I was laughing because now, of course, we're boycotting Target and other places. And I was saying, Black people going, some of them are still going to the store and get things a lot. So, but during the 60s in the South, you had groups of people who were called enforcers, who would actually go stand in front of the store.
Not going in there.
And they would beat people up. Even women would beat other women up. You're not going in there, to maintain it. So when you hear all these stories and see all these things, when we see our past, we can become empowered. And I think that's what's missing, not only with young people, older people too. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we've been through, right? And of course, you can't move forward unless you, Sankofa, look backwards and see that. So I'm just hoping by people being more enlightened and educated on our history of resistance, that would help bridge the gap a little, help the young people have more respect for older people, and for older people to have more respect and patience for the younger people.
When did respect for older people start to decline?
I would say personally in my life, I would say during the 70s.
Why do you think that's the case?
Because once we started the Black cultural movement, you had, like, my parents were in that generation. They were Negroes, you know, who wanted to integrate. The white man knows everything. You know, white man is close to God. And then here you are acting the opposite of that, you know. And we had so many tense moments and arguments, even in my own household. My father used to say, because I attended Lincoln University, my brother went to Cheney. He said, y'all used to be such good children till y'all went to that black, say it like that, black school, you know. And I think that we couldn't understand it at the time. You know, hindsight's 20/20. I can understand my parents now. But we how do you have respect for somebody like that?
Patience now, the older generation having patience with the younger generation. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, I think we're too critical. We are. We're critical in their music, the way they dress, the way they act. We make assumptions. And I do the same thing. I had a student come to class, typical stepping out of the Housewives of Atlanta, you know, dressed like that and the attitude. And so I automatically assume, you know, this young woman is not about too much. She was one of the most brilliant students I ever had, you know, and I just sized her up just by looking at her. Then once I really listened to her and got to know her and what she was saying, and what young people are going through today, the trauma. I visited one young girl while I was working at Camden High. She had a whole wall in her bedroom of funeral programs. You know, she wasn't 16. It had over like well over, seemed like well over 20 to me, because the wall of her friends who had been killed. Yeah, so they have a lot on them. You know, it's a whole new world. A lot of trauma, a lot of drama, a lot of pressure to be. And unfortunately, you know, in this society, as I do this critique of capitalism that won't wait, and that's where you got that quote from, you know, whole thing about capital, the goal is alienation from yourself. So you don't know who you are, you know, and the further you move from yourself, then you can do anything to anybody else. You know, just 2 weeks ago in Chicago, this young man stomped this young girl to death. And you know what? The first thing came to my mind, of course, I felt so bad for the girl. What happened to him? You know, what happened to him? What did somebody do to him for him to do that to somebody else? Huh? So I think these are the questions we have to start asking our young people. What happened to you? You know, and walk them through that and kind of bring them to a healing. And I think that too would bridge the gap. But I really do. I try to really listen to young people, just listen and watch and just really be empathetic.
You touched on it prior, but I'd like you to elaborate more. How does learning about one's identity impact a person on a deeper level, even a cellular level?
Mm-hmm. I don't know how you can navigate through the world and with other people if you don't have any concept of who you are. And unfortunately, most of the stereotypes of Black people are still out there, you know, the criminalization of the race, yeah. And Black women, don't forget about it. No one likes a Black woman, not even Black women, you know. The stereotype of us being argumentative and negative, and so I can't answer that. I don't know.
Have you observed this? Like, I observed this while teaching, right? And you observed this. some black people replicate what they think black people should behave like. It's like they take the worst qualities, like they'll watch the show, and they're not like that. They're really not like that.
Yeah, right.
But they think the expectation is for them to act like that. So it's kind of tricky when you see people behaving a certain way. It's like they're putting on an act, but unfortunately, they're replicating the behaviors that's not the highest form of the culture. They feel pressured to act in a certain way because they feel like this is what it is to be black.
We really see that on a global level. You know, it seems like, well, number one, racism is global. There's nowhere you can go where you don't deal with racism. So therefore, everywhere you have black people, you have this level of inferiority. That's different based on where you are. But it really seems to me that black people throughout the diaspora, throughout Africa and the African diaspora, they take the very worst of black Americans, right, and amplify that. Mhm. And I guess what you're saying is they think that that's a form of being accepted by others, and it's really interesting. But that's what we do. And even, but you've always had, and I tell students, you've always had free blacks. You've always had a group of black, and this is global. Always had black people who were free. Also had some black people who were educated, but the problem was miseducation, because what they would do is assimilate and inculcate the ways of whites in order to be accepted. But in doing that, what it does is it pushes them away from the people, because they think they look down at the people and see that they're better than them, you know? So you have these two classes. Years ago, this is funny, I was in London and I went to a party that was thrown by some people from Ghana. And so when we got there, it was early in the evening. Everybody was prim and proper. It was a lot of, they call barristers, and doctors and whatnot. Everybody, you know, around 11 o'clock, the foo-foo came out, the music changed. The whole atmosphere changed. Everybody start going back and being that their natural self. So it's navigating those two identities. And I really can't remember what the question was, because I kind of went over the edge, but I was just thinking of just about different stereotypes and how they play out throughout the world. Mm-hmm.
And know how important it is to know yourself.
Oh, yeah, it's important. Well, but how do you do that? You know, how do you do that? And you're being raised by people who don't know who they are.
Facts.
Who were raised by people who didn't know who they were. All right. So you have no one to teach you. Like, all you need really is one person in your life with some direction, or some people say with good sense. But if you don't have that, you don't have that connection, you learn as you go along. You know, you learn from your peers, see what you see on TV. Yeah.
So I know you've been to both Jamaica and Ghana.
Oh, I never got about that question.
What is up with the cultural similarities between those two?
Yeah, because we're all the same people. And this is something, there's this group, tying this back to reparations. There's this group in America called ADOS, African Descendants of Slaves. And they're pushing for reparations. But they're pushing it only for Black Americans who can prove that they were enslaved in America. They're missing out on a whole nother dynamic. What they don't understand is that during slavery, Black people were transported from place to place. All right, Barbados being the first real slave society, then up into Jamaica, South Carolina, all right? So you have these connections of this movement, and even after slavery, you have Black people being.
Hey, shout out my brother Clayco Ant, Grand Rising, brother. Hopefully everything good with you and the family. Ant, appreciate you, brother, tapping in.
shuffled around and
I'll
moved through
probably
these
call you
different
later on in the week, man.
areas. Now, a large majority of African people came through Ghana, all right? But actually, if you another plug, Joseph Harris's map on the African diaspora, you can Google it. He shows all the places in Africa that Black people were taken from. But Ghana being a major point, right? Those people were
I hear you,
taken
Jackie. I
to the
disagree with a
Akan
couple things
and
she said,
Coromante,
but
were
I let it
taken
go.
to Jamaica, Barbados, South Carolina. They moved the same. So of course, yeah, you go to Ghana, you go to Jamaica, you're actually dealing with the same people.
Yeah, that's the point. I don't think we're the same people. I don't think us and Africans are the same people. You know, that was my only disagreement. But, you know, still got good content. Shout out to this sister and who did the interview. I never knew TV. It was a good interview. Professional, you know, interview. It was a good interview though.
People, the same people. I know I went on a trip. I went to Bermuda once, and we had a guy there from the Congo. And once we got to Bermuda, the locals came out and they did a traditional dance. And he was like, that's the same dance that we do at home. He knew the dance, they knew the language, and then of course other people who have traced the language, especially of the Gullah.
Yeah, I'm with y'all in the chat with that 5G and the jab and these phones. I'm with you, Hiker. I'm with you, man. I see all of y'all.
And the similarities with different groups in Africa, we're all the same people. But I think where ADOS and a lot of other Black people go off a little bit is we don't understand, and you're talking about a sense of self. We don't understand the sense of self that Africans have and people from the Caribbean have because they didn't grow up in the belly of the beast. You know, when you're in an area and the majority of people around you look like you have a different attitude than living in a place of hostility, you know, on a daily basis. You don't ask for it. You go into a store, people are following you. You got this constant, and you don't have that there. You know, I remember when I stayed in Tanzania for 6 months on a Fulbright. When I got back to New York and I landed at Kennedy Airport, and I saw the white people, the rage,
Sure.
the stress, the
Shout out my
rage,
brother
just it
Epic
came
Studies.
back
What's
like
good,
that.
Epic Grand
It was
Rising, brother.
unbelievable.
Grand Rising, Epic Studies. Much love and respect to you and the family.
It is, and people don't understand that until they really leave. And I think 2 or 3 days in the islands when you're staying at all inclusive, you don't really get the feel of it. You know, you stay there a couple of weeks, you live with the people. It
You
doesn't take
sufficient, spit
long. You
out the
feel that
bone.
weight
But
coming
other
off
than
of
that, it was a
you.
good interview.
You know, everywhere you
It was
look,
an
you see
excellent
Black
interview.
people, you see Blackness, you know, and that gives you such a good feeling of self. And that's what people from the Caribbean have. And we think they think they're better than us. No, they have a sense of who they are.
And I think my parents are Jamaican.
Oh, okay.
What I notice is that growing up in America is that when you see people in authority that looks like you, it gives you a different now Jamaica has classism, and colorism, very bad, right?
Right.
But you still see people in authority that look like you.
Yeah.
When you're constantly seeing people in authority who don't look like you, it really messes with your psyche on a subconscious level. Because you don't feel subconscious you could be in that position because you don't see it consistently.
Right. Right.
I think that's one of the burdens of growing up in America as a Black person, especially back in the day. You really typecast yourself because it's not even a thought for you to do that because you haven't seen it.
Right. Belly of the beast.
What would an educational curriculum that truly empowers our youth look like?
So that was one of the successes of the Black Power movement in the 70s, was instituting Africana and studies programs in colleges and offering those classes, and then also infusing the curriculums in public schools. Now, for example, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago, a lot of those places, curriculums were designed to give Black children a sense of self, beginning with commit. That's a whole nother story, but that we're still fighting today, all right, to take children back to Egypt and tell them that this is where your civilization began, and these people were actually African people who did that, and then bring them up. And we Black scholars are accused of just trying to make people feel good. Yeah, we are. We're trying to make people feel good. When we go into the kings and queens of Africa, the whole pre-colonial African history, and then go into the enslavement.
It ain't no sound. There's no sound. I'll reshare. Share sound.
Not only by the Europeans, but also by the Arabs. We don't usually talk about the Arabs.
Okay, all right.
And their infusion, and the devastation. We don't really look at. We look at the slave trade, we call it, but we don't really look at the devastation that took place in Africa. The population between 1500 and 1800 was almost, I want to say, it was more than halved. From the people being taken out. Not only people being taken out, but out and out genocide. The slaughters of thousands of Africans were just killed. So going through that, and then coming. I used to teach Black history all the time, and the students ask, "Well, isn't there a happy period?" Well, happy would be the Harlem Renaissance. That's about as happy as we can get. And even then, during the Harlem Renaissance, you still had a reign of terror going on. You got all these lynchings on the one hand, but at least you have all this art coming out of the Black community. So, this to really show Black people in their full glory, that we can do all under. Can you imagine where we would be and what our lives would be like if we weren't oppressed?
Yeah, because going back to the slavery in Africa, right, or a destruction of Africa, I don't think people understand how systems to sustain a society were destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a big aspect. Right. So this is like years and years of progress not being made because the system is destroyed. Your brightest and your strongest are removed from that environment. The trauma that was left behind, your ability to earn and develop is just decimated.
Right. And the best account, of course, would be Walter Rodney's How Europe Underdeveloped Africa.
Facts.
And also Eric Williams' Capitalism and Slavery. And the funny thing about that, because it's not funny.
American.
Of course, he became the prime minister of Trinidad. And during the Black Power movement, he had to ban his own book. Yeah.
Why? Who forced him to ban his own book?
He had to.
Hawkeye, what's up? Hawkeye?
Because it was too empowering, Even though he had that consciousness when he wrote the book, but as a governor, you want
good seeing you, Hawkeye.
You're trying to repress this Black Power thing. Yeah, he banned his own book.
Studying slavery, right? So there's this idea like you're really not supposed to complain about your history. You're supposed to move on, right? But when you analyze even the slave ship and how traumatic that is, and like being disoriented because not only are you removed from your life, but like the crying, the feces, the beating, the death, even the food, being exposed to like foreign food, like it's just such like a mind-blowing experience that people don't want to acknowledge or think about.
Well, it's changing a little bit now because now we're talking about trauma. And of course, Joy DeGroy,
Appreciate you, Hawkeye,
got her last
tapping
name,
in, brother.
Bleary.
Vino
Her
Entertainment was
book,
good.
The Post-Traumatic
Much
Slave
love and respect.
Syndrome, which she was a little ahead of her time because we're just starting to get that way and looking at the impact of trauma, generational trauma on people. And
You might have to go out and
well,
come back
and
in.
this is one of my inspirations for.
You may have to go out and come back in. Put a 1 in the chat. If y'all hearing sound, please, sound check, sound check. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all hearing the video. You might have to go out and come back in, Uncle Feds. They messing with your phone. Sound check, please. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all hear the video. Please. Quick sound check, sound check. Powerton, thank you. All right, cool. Sister Bethy, much love and respect to you and the family. Appreciate you tapping in. Got y'all. So everybody hear the video. Uncle Feds, you're going to have to go out and come back in. Appreciate all y'all support, man. Thank y'all.
For doing the slave revolt map, because as a Black person, we are shrouded in shame. You're in a predominantly white
Appreciate you, Sister
classroom
Bethy,
and you
tapping in.
get to the topic of slavery and all the white students look at you, you know, like you're still a slave. All that trauma is still
Thank you in the
with
Republic,
you.
brother.
And I wanted to say, look what we did. Look how we fought. Look how we strategized. Look at the genius in all of this.
And I want to bring up, right? So when everyone talks about epigenetics, right? They just seem to focus on like the negative things we inherit. But when I think about when I started to understand epigenetics, right? And say, yes, I may have inherited that.
Right.
But what about all these other things I inherited? The resilience, the brilliance, the courage.
And that's what I put on in the narrative for the map. That the same DNA that ran through our ancestors is in us.
Enoch,
You know,
what's good,
we
Enoch?
can do this.
Much love and
We
respect to
are
you and the family,
empowered.
Enoch.
We need to know who we are. We need to stand up. They did under extraordinary,
Because I never heard about the Sister Solitude, right? And you know, even hearing that got me fired up.
people like Solitude. Also, Marie Angelique in Montreal. People like her too. I forget the year, about maybe around 1830s. She overheard her master say he was going to sell her because of her attitude. So she set Montreal on fire, tried to burn down the whole city. Yeah, they captured her and tortured her, but she did a lot of damage, you know. So yeah.
I really appreciate the conversation, the sharing of the information and the wisdom. And let the people know about your project too.
Yes, I would like to steer everyone to my website, Black Slave Revolts with an S, one word, blackslaverevolts.org. Okay. And you can also go to drifewilliams.com, but blackslaverevolts.org, and you will see it's 2 maps now. I just finished, hot off the press. It's only 2 weeks old. Yeah, it's 90% done, but it's live. You'll see 2 maps, one on the slave revolts. And then my new one is anti-colonial, like I mentioned, civil rights movements from 1944 to 1994. But what I realized after I started is you can't talk about 1944 unless you go back to 1934 and all the labor movements. And so I start with the labor movements, the role of the Communist Party, especially with the Scottsboro Boys. They were Marcus Garvey.
Shout out Jackie Brown. Much love, Jackie
And I always
Brown.
ask
She
people,
said, oh, hell no,
how
man.
many chapters do you think Marcus Garvey had?
Appreciate you, Jackie.
He had over 1,240 different countries.
Which is wild.
And he still has active chapters one in Costa Rica, and I know one in Namibia. I don't know about others, but there are active chapters of his movement. And of course, the two largest transnational movements would be the anti-apartheid movement and the Black Power movement. And you had Black Panthers
Eat the
in
fish and stay off
Israel,
the bones,
in
y'all.
India,
It still wasn't
in
good. It was a good
Australia,
interview. Shout
in
out to
East Timor. So I have all that on the
I'm with you,
map.
Jackie Brown. You
And
already
it's
know.
color-coded red,
Hell to
black,
the
and
no.
green after Honorable Marcus Garvey. And each marker not only gives you information, but it gives you, I'm into visuals. So they have images, I have video, and then at the end of each one, I have citations, scholarly citations, because I don't want anybody to think, oh, this is just a Google map. I can just hit something. I want to maintain the integrity of the
Enjoy
academic
your day,
work
Sister Betty.
and
Appreciate
scholarship behind it.
How many years did you have to research to get this going?
Well, the slavery map, I would say maybe 8 years, because I was working on other things. In between, I did my book, Police Brutality. Story. I didn't put that little plug in. And and work, and I just kept putting it down. And then right before the pandemic, ancestors told me, "Come on, girl, you need to finish this thing. Finish this right now." And I just focused right on it. So, and when I start focusing, I would say maybe less than a year, and I got that together, and then I put it online in African Heritage Studies Association's website right at the beginning of the pandemic.
My bad.
And I got over 236,000 views.
American
So, and I
Indigenous.
don't know
Much
how
love and
people
respect
found
to
that. And
American
of course, the
Indigenous.
Smithsonian found it, and they wanted the ships. They just wanted the ships for their international exhibit, which Trump is presently going to close. I don't think he knows anything about it, but it's phenomenal in that they not only talk about slavery, they do what they call object pairing. They're comparing what happened in slavery and what's going on now. So I knew that one was going to come down. So they have slave shackles and handcuffs. And so, so they took the ships, and that's presently on display at we call it the Blacksonian, that they're trying to close. That's going to be there in June, and it's going to travel throughout the world.
Can you, since you brought it up, can you explain some of the similarities between slavery and our modern day society?
It's a big question. I mean, it's a lot. When you look at the criminal justice system, we talked about self-image and hating ourselves and not being people. The terms of lack of education, our housing,
I
our
should be
health.
back now. I should be back. I should be back.
It's just in Barbados. This is my favorite. This is my second favorite place. They grew up eating sugar cane because they didn't have any food. And one guy told me that, his lunch was a bag of sugar, right? And Barbados today has the highest rate of amputees from diabetes. And so, I mean, it's directly related to high blood pressure, the hypertension. I came across an interesting fact that Black people in America have higher blood pressure than people living in a refugee camp. Can you imagine that?
American Indigenous, you already know.
And do you think it's the
Much love to
food
you
or the
and family.
stress?
It's the stress.
Definitely think it's the stress.
It's the stress and the food. I mean, we're under constant, and it's just on a subtle level. You mentioned the colorism, and it's a lot.
What do you say to people that say Black people have made a lot of progress?
Well, we have. It depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of time has passed, a lot of time. And if we look at where we should be in terms of the clock, we have not really progressed that much. But then if you look at it from where we were captured and oppressed to where we are now, then it looks like, and it's amazing. is look at the period of history right after slavery. So between like 1868 and 1920.
That was a booming time.
You're talking about people coming from almost 99% illiteracy, right? With rags on a plantation, and
Yeah,
you
eat the
look
fish
at
and
it in
spit
the
out the bones, y'all.
1920s,
Eat the
the
fish and
hats
spit out the bones.
and the
Hey,
genius
not
and the
what's good, brother?
writing
Hey,
and the
not.
art in that period of time. Mm-hmm. So
Access and opportunity, you know?
yeah. It's amazing how, so we got to look, I try to look at things globally, you know, and
Now, what's the most shocking thing you found doing your research that really, like, man, blew you away?
there was a lot of shocking things. It was a lot. But one thing that,
to me,
well, of course, the
with my
punishments and all,
research,
but with the second,
you know, a lot of misinformation, a lot of lies. That's what I've found out through a lot of my research: misinformation and lies. You know, we're almost at the end of this interview. You know, with this young lady, Dr. Williams. You know, excellent interview from I Knew TV. You know, shout out to this sister for doing what she's doing.
Mac, with the
We're gonna
civil
play
rights
one more
movement, and
video,
I
and then
asked
I'm gonna
people
shut it down,
now,
man.
so what's the longest boycott during the civil rights
From
movement?
Ham.
And everybody say the same thing. Montgomery
Much
bus
love and
boycott,
respect,
what,
Rum Ham.
382 days, right?
Appreciate you.
I
Black
found
motherfucking power to the flag
a
power, baby.
boycott led by high school students in Orlando, Florida, that lasted 3 years. Yes.
What were they both at?
Every day after school, they would go to the lunch counter and they'd sit down. As soon as they get there, the waitress would take the sign down, closed. And they would just sit there. And then they get up to go home and she put the sign back. 3 years. They were even arrested and held for $250 bail each. You imagine? And at that time, and the community raised the money, got them out of jail, and they went back. It took 3 years till 1963 for them to integrate that lunch counter. I thought that was so amazing, and of course, I also like the enforcers. I like the idea of them beating people up, but never going. But it's just, you know, I was looking at the maps yesterday.
Yeah, shout out to that sister, right?
The
This the video we gonna review tomorrow. I ain't gonna the next time I go live. Dr. George Foster. Black people are headed into slavery. We're gonna review that video tomorrow, but I wanna play this one right here. You know, shout out to
But you see, what I didn't realize at the time and what Kevin had to learn.
You know what I mean? David Chappelle destroys the woke culture. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna play this video, and if nobody come up, I'm gonna end it. You know, I'm gonna play a couple songs, but we about to switch lanes. Make sure I hit that like button. We're going to let David Chappelle destroys the woke culture. Let's go.
Learn the hard way is we were breaking an unwritten and unspoken rule of show business. And if I say it, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never, ever allowed to upset.
They tried to cancel the greatest comedian alive. Netflix employees walked out, Twitter exploded, and the media declared his career over. But Dave Chappelle did not back down. The moment he stepped on stage, next changed everything. Here is what really happened. Dave Chappelle is not just a comedian. He is a cultural phenomenon who turned down $50 million to protect his integrity. That alone tells you something about the man behind the microphone. So when he decided to take on woke culture, everyone knew something monumental was coming.
He knew that I was the biggest Jim Carrey fan in the world. Now, I'm not going to go all into it, but Jim Carrey is talented in a way that you can't practice or rehearse. What a God-given talent. I was fascinated with him. And Norm knew that. And he called me up and he goes, Dave, he says, I'm doing a movie with Jim Carrey. Do you want to meet him? And I said, fuck, yes, I do. And it was the first time I could remember since my father died being excited. And the movie was called Man on the Moon. I didn't know any of this. And in this movie, Jim Carrey was playing another comedian I admired, the late, great Andy Kaufman. Yes, and Jim Carrey was so immersed in that role that from the moment he woke up to the time he went to bed at night, he would live his life as Andy Kaufman. I didn't know that. When they said cut, this nigga was still Andy Kaufman. So much so that everybody on the crew called him Andy. I didn't know any of that. I just went there to meet him, and when he walked into the room where we were supposed to meet, I screamed, "Jim Carrey!" And everyone said, "No! Call him Andy." And I didn't understand. And then he came over and he was acting weird. I didn't know he was acting like Andy Kaufman. Just like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "Hello."
Yeah, Brother Darvis, I played that on Monday. Yeah, I played them two judges getting locked up by ICE on Monday. One of them holding a guy. Yeah, I reviewed that on Monday, brother. Last time I went live. You can look at the video. Yep, I played it.
Hello.
Vino, what's good, brother?
Andy?
Much love and
Now,
respect, Vino.
In hindsight, how fucking lucky am I that I got to see one of the greatest artists of my time immersed in one of his most challenging processes ever. Very lucky to have seen that. But as it was happening, I was very disappointed. Because I wanted to meet Jim Carrey, and I had to pretend this nigga was Andy Kaufman all afternoon. And he was clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey. Anyway, I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
It started with his Netflix special, The Closer. Chappelle opened with what seemed like a simple story about meeting Jim Carrey on the set of Man on the Moon. Carrey was so deeply immersed in playing Andy Kaufman that he refused to break character. Chappelle, a huge Jim Carrey fan, wanted to meet his hero, but instead got Andy Kaufman. This story set up what would become one of the most controversial comedy specials in recent history. Then came the punchline that sent social media into meltdown. That is how trans people make me feel. Simple words, but they hit like a thunderbolt. The impact was immediate. Netflix employees staged walkouts. Activists demanded the special be removed. Opinion pieces flooded the internet, condemning Chappelle for what they called hate speech. But Chappelle did something unexpected. He doubled down. In his follow-up appearances, he explained how modern society confuses discomfort with actual harm. Just because you are offended, he said, does not mean you are right. This became a rallying cry for comedians tired of walking on eggshells.
See, what I didn't realize at the time and what Kevin had to learn the hard way is we were breaking an unwritten and unspoken rule of show business. And if I say it, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never...
Yeah, I got you sold, brother. I'm gonna do something. I'll probably go into my my Zoom and take some of the restrictions down. But yeah, I appreciate you trying to join. Gas Man, what's good? King James, what's good? Hopefully everybody having a good day, man.
Ever allowed to upset the alphabet people. You know who I mean. Those people that took 20% of the alphabet for themselves. I'd say the letters, but I don't want to conjure their anger. It's too late now. I'm talking about them L's and them B's and them G's and the T's.
His take on what he calls the alphabet people particularly struck a nerve. Chappelle pointed out how different groups under the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer umbrella are not actually one unified movement, but rather different letters traveling in the same car. This observation highlighted the complexities within identity politics that many prefer to ignore.
People be surprised. I have friends, all kinds of letters. Everybody loves me, and I love everybody. I got friends who are L's, I got friends who are B's, and I got friends who are G's.
The beauty of Chappelle's approach lies in his masterful storytelling. He does not just make jokes. He weaves narratives that force you to think.
When I watch sports, I be thinking about, think about, okay, say LeBron James changed his gender. You know what I mean? Okay, can he stay in the NBA, or because he's a woman, does he have to go to the WNBA where he will score 840 points a game?
Take his bit about LeBron James hypothetically changing gender. On the surface, it might seem offensive, but dig deeper and you find real questions about fairness and equality that nobody else dares to address in mainstream discourse.
You know, you hear all those letters together all the time, LBGT, LBGT, and you think it's just one big movement. It's not. All those letters are their own movement. They just travel in the same car together. And my guess is,
what makes Chappelle truly different is his ability to find humor in complexity.
what does it actually mean to be equal? You know what I mean? Like, if women are actually equal to men, then there would be no WNBA, would there? You would just be good enough to play in the NBA with us. Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
When discussing Caitlyn Jenner winning Woman of the Year, he does not mock her identity. Instead, he questions the irony of someone winning in their first year what others spend lifetimes working toward.
Caitlyn Jenner, whom I've met, wonderful person, Caitlyn Jenner was voted Woman of the Year. Her first year as a woman. Ain't that something? Beat every bitch in Detroit, she's better than all of you.
This distinction is crucial to understanding his comedy.
Never even had a period. Ain't that something? Oh, I'd be mad as shit if I was a woman. I'd be mad if I was me. If I was in a BET Awards sitting there and they're like, and the winner for Nigger of the Year, Eminem, my man.
His comparison between Rachel Dolezal and transgender individuals showcases his nuanced approach.
Like that white black bitch that's in the news all the time. Rachel Dolezal. She always says that. She's a white woman, but then she dressed up like a nigga and shot her way up to the very top of blackness. And I always wanted to meet her just so I could understand. I just wanted to like have dinner with her so I could just look in her eyes and call her a nigger to her face. The fuck is that bitch talking about? I identify black. That is trans talk, lady. Stop biting. Stop biting.
While he might not understand either situation fully, he acknowledges the profound difference between someone who claims an identity and those who make life-altering changes to live authentically.
The big difference between her and a trans, the difference between her and a trans is I believe transgenders. I don't understand them either, but I know they mean what they say. Them niggas cut their dicks off. That's all the proof I need. I've never seen somebody just throw their dick away. Don't need it.
This differentiation demonstrates his ability to think critically while maintaining his comedic edge. Chappelle's critics often miss his deeper point. He is not attacking any particular group. He is questioning a society that demands absolute acceptance without allowing for discussion or understanding. As he puts it, I do not understand all of this, but that does not mean I have to be angry about it. This sentiment reflects a more nuanced position than his critics often acknowledge.
I feel bad for teas, but they're so confusing. And it's not all my fault. I feel like they need to take some responsibility for my jokes.
The mainstream media tried painting him as bigoted, but they missed his consistent message. Respect does not mean you cannot joke about something. In fact, being able to laugh together might be the first step toward real understanding. This philosophy has been consistent throughout his career, from Chappelle's show to his current stand-up specials. What really got under the skin of woke culture was Chappelle's absolute refusal to apologize. When confronted about his jokes, he simply stated, I am not saying these things to be mean. I am saying them because they are funny. And if you cannot see the humor, maybe the problem is not the joke. This unapologetic stance became a template for others facing similar criticism.
Because I didn't come up with this idea on my own. This idea that a person can be born in the wrong body. But they have to admit, that's a fucking hilarious predicament. It's really fucking funny. And if it happened to me, you'd laugh, wouldn't you? That wouldn't be funny if it happened to me? I think it would be. What if it did? What if I was Chinese? but born in this nigger body. That's not funny.
His perspective on identity politics is particularly sharp, informed by his own experiences as a black man in America. He points out the absurdity of hierarchical oppression, noting how everyone is fighting to be at the bottom. Nobody wants to admit maybe we are all struggling together. This observation cuts to the heart of current social justice debates.
And for the rest of my life, I had to go around making that face. Hey, everybody, I'm Chinese! And everyone get mad. Stop making that face. That's offensive. What? This is how I feel inside.
Chappelle's approach to controversial topics reveals his strategic brilliance. He often starts with something seemingly simple, then peels back layers to reveal deeper truths. His joke about identifying as Chinese while being in a black body is not just shock comedy, it is a clever way to explore the complexities of identity politics. The response to his specials proved his point about outrage culture perfectly. People who had never watched his comedy suddenly became experts on his intentions. Clips were taken out of context, headlines screamed about controversy while ignoring the nuance of his arguments. And
get with me, Whoop, so we can do that interview, brother. Show your painting off. Holla at me, man. I ain't been going live much. I've been falling back, you know, enjoying life. So shout out to all of y'all, man.
social media erupted in predictable outrage.
The G's are driving that car. That makes sense to me, because there's white men in the G's. And these people are trying to get around discrimination and oppression. And you know how white dudes are. We know these roads. In fact, we built these roads. The rest of you buckle up, we'll get you to where you want to go. So the G's are just driving the car. Of course, next to the G's in the passenger seat is the L's. Everybody likes the L's, except for the G's. I don't know what that's about. I just know the G's don't like them that much. And the G's always say like little subliminal digs on them. It's unnecessary shit. It's not mean, but you know what I mean? They just be like, I wouldn't wear that.
But here is what makes Chappelle truly dangerous to woke culture. He cannot be canceled. His fan base is too loyal, his influence too significant, and most importantly, his arguments too reasonable. When you actually listen to what he is saying, it becomes difficult to maintain the outrage. His influence extends beyond comedy. Chappelle has become a voice for those who feel silenced by current cultural norms. His willingness to tackle taboo subjects has inspired other comedians to be bolder in their material. This ripple effect has begun to change how we discuss controversial topics.
If it's one thing that the L's and the G's agree on, is that the B's are fucking gross. They seem greedy to the L's and the G's, you know what I mean? They're just sitting in the backseat like, yeah, man, I'll fuck anybody in this car. What's going on, man? And sitting next to the B's, all the way in the back seat by themselves, looking out the window. That's the T's. Everybody in the car respects the T's, but everyone also resents the T's. It's not the T's' fault, but everyone in the car just feels like the T's are making the trip take longer. Anything the T's say gets on everybody's nerves. And then the T's don't even say anything bad. They just be in the back talking to himself. I'm hot. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, okay? Just roll the window down, you bitch. I don't know what you... What? Just said I was hot. Can you pull over at the next exit? I need to use the restroom. There is not a restroom for you for 4 states, nigga. Will you just shut the fuck up so we can get where we're going?
The way Chappelle handles criticism is particularly noteworthy. Instead of engaging in Twitter wars or making public apologies, he addresses his critics through his art. Each new special builds on the previous ones, creating a larger narrative about freedom of expression and the importance of comedy in social discourse. His insights about corporate activism are especially biting. Chappelle points out how companies profit from social justice movements while doing little to address actual inequality. This observation extends to his criticism of Hollywood's selective outrage and performative activism. The comedian's take on cancel culture is equally profound. He argues that the real problem is not offensive speech, but the attempt to silence dissenting voices. They want to silence anybody who does not say exactly what they want to hear, he observes, highlighting the authoritarian undertones in modern progressive movements. What many miss about Chappelle's commentary is its ultimate goal, pushing for genuine dialogue. Through comedy, he creates spaces where difficult conversations can happen. His jokes serve as entry points into deeper discussions about race, gender, identity, and power. His impact on comedy cannot be overstated. By standing firm against pressure to conform, Chappelle has helped preserve comedy as a space for dangerous ideas and uncomfortable truths. This stance has made him both a target and a hero, depending on who you ask. The aftermath of his Netflix specials revealed something important about modern discourse. While Twitter mobs raged and think pieces multiplied, ticket sales for his shows soared. This disconnect between online outrage and real-world response exposed the limitations of cancel culture.
And they've canceled people that are more powerful than me. They canceled J.K. Rowling. My God, J.K. Rowling wrote all the Harry Potter books by herself. She sold so many books, the Bible worries about her. And they canceled her because she said in an interview, and this is not exactly what she said, but effectually, she said gender was a fact. And then the trans community got mad as shit. They started calling her a TERF. I didn't even know what the fuck that was. But I know that trans people make up words to win arguments. So I looked it up. TERF is an acronym. Stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists. This is a real thing. This is a group of women that hate transgender. They don't hate transgender women, but they look at trans women the way we blacks might look at blackface. It offends them. Like, ooh, this bitch is doing an impression of me.
This brings us to perhaps Chappelle's most important contribution, demonstrating that it is possible to discuss sensitive topics with both humor and insight. His comedy proves that laughter and learning are not mutually exclusive, even when dealing with the society's most contentious issues. Through it all, Chappelle maintains his position as comedy's philosopher king, using humor to expose truths others dare not mention. His battle with woke culture is not just about telling jokes, it is about preserving the right to think and speak freely.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle, man. That was good shit. That was good shit. Made me laugh. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Let me put that down. Hopefully everybody good, Grand Rising. You know, I want to go on my Gmail real quick. Give me a second, everybody. I'm going to play a couple songs. And we're going to close out, man. Hopefully everybody having a good day. Let me go into my Gmail. Uncle sent me some music. So let's go. Hold on. All right, let me share my screen. It should be up. Which one is it? Yep. We're gonna play some Uncle Murder, man. Shout out my brother Uncle Murder.
Hey, I heard that shit. Hey, Thug, let's drop GM shit again, nigga.
Buy me 100 choppers. Buy me 100 choppers. Try with 100 choppers. I bet not get caught now. Buy me 100 choppers. Buy me 100 choppers. Live in this helicopter. Bought me 100 choppers that came with 200 clips. I bet not get caught now. No, call my name ain't Tip. I be on the corner. That means I can't slip. Them skinny ass jeans, boy, you tucking that on hip. Oh, it's in your Louis bag. You caught from Satchville. You say you be going ham, but you in the wrong zip. You say I be tripping.
We'll call it the biggest trip. I'ma tighten up this rap game. Call it the vice grip. My t-shirt said fuck the coppers. They worse than hip hoppers. I need me a helicopter to go with these 100 choppers. Know that we causing problems, but you not a problem solver. Still drinking Rose, boy. They bought me 100 bottles. Know how to get a nigga. Buy me 100 models. Get a swing of this swag. Reapers get to the dollar. Rappers be acting righteous. Denzels, Mackay, Vipers. Criminal minded sniper with drums on assault rifle. 100 choppers. Buy me 100 choppers. All my looters is shooters, all my shooters is hoodlums. If you jump in that water, you gon' be straight barracuda. We blowing through to get to it, gon' be sold out when we do it. And the streets gon' be with it, little nigga know what you doing. Oh, pursue me, they do me, like I'm straight out of moving. 12 goals in my mouth, but turn your girl to a groupie. What you beefing or playing? I see you leaving, I'm staying. I'm the man on the west side, choppers hit on demand. 7 grams in a Swisser, and I'm full of that liquor. I'm beating on my chest like who wanna fuck with Gorilla. Birmingham, Alabama, coming straight from the slammer. When it comes to the swag, it's too much for bitches to handle. GDs, Bloods, and Crips, real niggas gon' plead the bill. T-shirts say fuck the copper, Chopper Chiquita clip, west side. 100 choppers, buy me 100 choppers. Shrimp with 100 choppers, I better not get caught now, I know. Buy me 100 choppers, buy me 100 choppers. Lady, this helicopter, my t-shirt just fuck the bottle. Buy me 100 choppers, buy me 100 choppers. Shrimp with 100 choppers, I better not get caught now, I know. Buy me 100 choppers, buy me 100 choppers. Lady, this helicopter, my t-shirt said fuck the copper.
Shout out my brother, Uncle Murder, man. Like I said, we're going to play a couple songs. And then we're going to close out, man. Everybody have a beautiful day. I appreciate each and every one of y'all.
The good ganja
Nobody told y'all they love y'all.
that got me wanting on my brain.
Appreciate you, man. Stand black. That's good.
Roll up early in the morning on a hot ganja tea. Well, it is the norm. That's how I start my day. I kneel and pray to Master God, I say. Give thanks for the morning breeze. Give thanks for the breath of life indeed. Give thanks and praises for the omnipotent, for the pure and holy sacrament. The good ganja strain. I that me wanting on me brain. Me no smoke crack, dog, give me cocaine. Strictly THC, get me higher than plain. The sativa strain. The strongest indica strain. Doctors give it to them patients to relieve their pain. And when the earth's done, we go blaze it again. Babylon give the people what they want. It's a worldwide cry, a universal chant. Anywhere you go, you hear it, legalize the plant. Free up the herb, and bless all your mother. Doctor Who and the forbidden fruit. Rolex OG and the kosher kush. Blue cheese, grape ape and the baba kush. Strictly high grade, no but the same is tush. The good ganja strain. I got me wanting on me brain. Me no smoke crack, dog, give me cocaine.
got you, bro. I'm gonna text you back in a minute. Thank you, Rob.
The sativa strain. The strongest indica strain. Just to give it to them patients to relieve the pain. So when the herbs done, we have to blaze it again. The good ganja strain. I got me wanting on me brain. Me no smoke crack, don't give me cocaine. Don't give me ras needle to push it on me vein. No, the sativa strain. The strongest indica strain. Just to give it to them patients to relieve the strain. So when the herbs done, we have to blaze it again. Roll up early in the morning on a hot ganja tea. Well, it is the norm. That's how I start.
And the link's in the chat, Nate. You don't have to, I'm going to let you talk. You can hit the link, Nate. Hit the link. Tell me how I need to be canceled, man. Tell me how I'm hurting people. Tell me where I'm doing some shit wrong. Hit the link, man. I understand you got little balls. I got big balls. My shit hang. So if you're really a man and want to tell me why I need to be canceled, tell me what I'm doing wrong, hit the link. I'm going to play a couple more songs, give you a chance to hit the link, man. Tell me why I need to be canceled, because I don't want shit from you. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I don't do donations. I ain't trying to teach nobody why I need to be canceled. Let me get that mic together. You left? Andre Phillips, you left? Hit the link in the chat, man. Tell me why I need to be canceled. What I'm doing. The link's in the chat, man. Like I said, I got big kahunas. My balls hang. They hang. You got little kahunas. Your shit tiny like a chihuahua. I got big balls. The link's in the chat, man.
Give thanks for the morning breeze. Give thanks for the breath of life indeed. Give thanks and praise to the omnipotent.
Good smoke power to the motherfucking people, man. Oh, that was you, Hawkeye. I thought it was Uncle Murder, man. I mean, I thought it was the brother that timed out. I got you. P. Morton, what's good? Hawkeye, appreciate you. Who else came in? House of Nathan's, much love and respect. P. Morton. Like I said, hopefully everybody have a good day. You feel like I need to be canceled? Let me know what I'm doing wrong. The link's in the chat, man. I ain't trying to teach nobody. I'm passing information. Eat the fruit, spit out the fucking seeds. But yeah, and you know, hopefully everybody having a beautiful day, man. We're going to play a couple more songs. Then I may be back tomorrow.
Sacraments, the good ganja strain. I got me wanted on my brain. Me no smoke.
Yeah, we good. Smoke somebody in the chat, man. Talk about I need to be canceled and shit. You know what I mean? If you got balls, hit the link and tell me what I did wrong. Tell me why I need to be canceled. Nathaniel Black. If you got any balls, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'll let you talk, as long as you don't be disrespectful. But the link is always pinned.
Don't give me cocaine, strictly THC, get me higher than planes. This a fever strain, the strongest in the strain. Doctors give it to the patients to relieve them strain. So when the herbs done, we have to place it again. Babylon get the people what them want. It's a worldwide cry, universal chant. Anywhere you go, you're hearing legalize the plant. Free up the herb, Babylon, all your mother. Blueberry sherbet and a grapefruit, power, purple local and a gorilla clue. You take me to I'm a ganja baby for true. The mommy I ready Vatican get blue. The good ganja strain. I got me wanting on my brain. Me no smoke crack, don't give me cocaine. Don't give me ras needle be pushing on me vein. No, this a sativa strain. The strongest indica strain. Doctors give it to them patients to relieve them pain. So when the herbs done, them have to blaze it again. The good ganja strain. I got me wanting on my brain. Me no smoke crack, don't give me cocaine. Strictly THC, get me higher than planes. I said the good ganja strain. I got to relieve my pain. We are go blaze it again and again and again.
Yeah, I'm going to text you right after that. I'm finished with the stream. We're going over here with that nigga Dangerous, man. The monster that America made. Let's go.
Fuck them niggas too, trying to call me a monster, but you put me in the noose. Then they turn and let you loose. Put your picture on the news with a fabricated story. Y'all believe in shit is true.
They made a monster out of me. They put a shot in my back. They get me to the count of 3. They set the house on my tracks. They made a monster out of me.
But I'm the one that's in the chains. You calling me a monster, I'm the one that's feeling pain. They be forging paperwork, that's the way these pigs move. How many niggas in the cell for some shit they didn't do? How many niggas in the grave just because they took a cruise? And police harassment's the hardest shit to ever prove. They perpetuate shit, they keep us hating one another. If you say it ain't true, then you's a racist motherfucker.
They put a shot in my bed. They get me to the count of 3. They set the house on my tracks. They made a monster out of me.
They gave drugs to my people, forcing them to use it. Then they calling us evil. Niggas gotta listen, they completed a mission. Imprison all the fathers, make dummies out of the children. Degrade all the women, take them out of position. Make them good for nothing, but fucking sucking and stripping. Their hate is like a blemish, they covering it with makeup. The monster in the system, every day I wake up.
They put a shot in my bed. They get me to the count of 3. They set the house on my tracks. They made a
These niggas ain't your friends, you ever seen Queen and Slim? It's been nights me and my wife could've easily been them. The Black Lives Movement fake, nigga, it really bothers me. Plastered on the news, fucking us psychologically. I'm my own person and self, so believe in me. The black celebrities you see don't speak for me. So it's upon us, living in dishonor. They enslaved the whole fucking race, but nigga, we the monsters.
They made a demon out of me. Then they put a cross to my face. They put a circus out for me. Cause I got some blood on my hands. But they would see me when I'm coming.
I think we're gonna
I'll be
be
laughing while you're running. Oh, you won't see me when I'm coming. I'll be the monster you've been wanting.
Hey, shout out my nigga Dangerous, man. We're gonna close it out.
You are now entering
The Love Palace,
the goddess.
where we're getting into the lives of the people behind the bar.
Shout out King Jim, shout out to Cat Cut, Luke,
Now you talking to me.
Empress Nana,
The goddess of love,
Cat Cut,
the goddess of love,
Now you talking to me.
Texas,
the goddess of
Roger
love,
W,
the goddess of
Smoke
love,
Stick,
Now
Hawkeye,
you talking to me.
the goddess of love, the goddess of love,
Now you
One
talking to
Hand
me.
Solo, Black
goddess
Motherfucker
of
Politics, Black Politics, Alpha
the
Mix,
goddess of love,
Wolf, Black Indian Immigrators.
Well, you know, it's so despicable. And think about what kind of monster takes a horrible tragedy like this, a personal tragedy that breaks everybody's hearts. Takes a tragedy like this and uses it to advance some weird political
Greatness walked in the building, I did you miss me? Flat earth don't mean niggas live on the frisbee. Niggas still believe in religion and watch suffering. Niggas put their faith in a system that don't fuck with them. Black gloves cover my hands, committing homicide. Memories, plotting revenge, it left me traumatized. Coming from the bottom and trying to get to the other side. The greatest motivation in life, watching my mother cry. Big corporations still consider it slaves. Freedom got a price, they call it minimum wage. The money make predators, these descendants that pray. But we ain't never done, new beginnings await. If you ain't fucking with me now, you really think I need y'all to roller coaster ride of life. It's kinda like the seesaw, but when you get to this view, everything that seems small. It even got these bitches diving mouth first to these balls. Man, shit change when I get in the V, cause I just let my ego drive when I sit in the seats. I mean, I used to be a bummy nigga, simple and clear. Then I cleaned up and turned into the pimp of the year. Any nigga harming a child is a terrorist. Niggas still believe in the book, Need a therapist, you fly, but you catching the bus. This shit embarrassing. Quick to say you stacking them bucks, this shit hilarious. Niggas thought homie was soft, but he a block nigga. Quiet ones always let off, you gotta watch niggas. Legend is 12 was thirsty and tried to stop niggas. Same cat, him and his mans turned into cop killers.
Authorities say the suspect, age
Appreciate all
35,
y'all support,
deliberately
man.
lured the
Each and
officers
every
to
one
his
of y'all.
home with a 911 call, waiting for them, armed with an AR-15 assault rifle.
Hey yo, the chosen one, light skinned nigga, yeah, the golden one. Father to the fire with this shit, I control the sun. Niggas did the double cross thing, got his ball sling, put the barrel under his chin and made his thoughts ring. But fuck the government, the way that it stands. Every branch attached to it, all the way to Japan. I hope niggas break from it any way that you can. It only take a few steps to walk away from the plan. Shit, I hope niggas wake up, learn we gotta win. School shooting made the news, they turning it to a trend. They wanna keep you dumb and blind. Voting for your favorite crooks, always for the lesser evil, never for the greater good. Can't sleep, one eye open like a cyclops. Can't believe none of they truth, this shit is psyops. The sunset and sunrise, good mornings turn to goodbyes. Meeting at the funeral service, that's when the love dies. Father kills 2-year-old, now that's a monster. Woman shot her husband on live, he need a doctor. Homie didn't make it, of course, see that's that girl lost. She did that in front of their kids, and the world saw. It's been a few years in this world, been on some crazy shit. Desensitized the mind, they made this shit exist. I'm just trying to tell you the truth, that's the way it is. Hood Politics Part 4, my name Dangerous.
Shout out to each and every one of y'all, man. Like I like to close out and say, if nobody told y'all they love you today, OG and his family love y'all, man. I see you in those YouTube streets. Everybody have a good day. Protect your little ones, your family, and stay, on guard at all times, man. Everybody have a good